any driver with thoughts of being world champion that isn't called Hansen. Now is the time to step up to the plate. Welcome to the 2019 FIA World Rallycross Championship presented by Monster Energy. World RX has made its way to the legendary street circuit of Trois-Rivières, Canada, for round 7. This venue has a special place in motorsport history, and since its debut on the calendar in 2014, World RX has been fully embraced by the local fans who turn out in their thousands to cheer on the best rallycross drivers in the world. Situated in the French-speaking province of Quebec, equidistant between Montreal and Quebec City, the circuit here has been the home of the awesome GP3R meeting since 1967. Now extended to 2 weekends thanks to World RX, the event is one of the biggest race meetings on the Canadian calendar. Last time out in Holjes, the Magic Weekend more than lived up to its name. Kenneth Hansen said he would let his boys race each other on home turf, and he was true to his word. Semi-final 1 featured an epic battle at the front between the championship leading siblings and ES Motorsport's Kevin Abbring. There was no quarter given as Kevin booked a front row slot in the final ahead of brother Timmy. If that got the Swedish fans on their feet, then semi-final 2 kept them there. Fellow countryman Sebastian Eriksson, making his debut in the brand new OMSE Fiesta, was giving everything in his bid to secure a front row start. That looked to be just beyond him when Grnholm edged ahead at the Joker merge, but Eriksson kept up the pressure. Unbelievably, with the flag in sight, Grnholm ran wide, allowing the Swede to pass, take the win, and that all-important pole in the final. With 3 Swedes on the first 2 rows, the crowd expected a home win, but who it would be was anyone's guess. Eriksson got the whole shot, taking Kevin with him on the standard lap, while Timmy Hansen and Grnholm lost time battling each other in the Joker. Now it was decision time for Eriksson. Early Joker to cover Timmy off but release Kevin, or hold on and see what plays out. His spotters held their nerve and kept him out, and a smart decision it proved to be. Kevin blinked first, which pitched him into a battle with his brother. Meanwhile, Eriksson pulled out the fastest lap of the day, and with the brother still squabbling at the end of lap 3, it was now or never. A flawless Joker followed, and all he had to do was hold his line until the flag, but under ever-increasing pressure from behind. A final corner lunge from Kevin had everyone holding their breath, but Eriksson held on to take the most unlikely of wins, all in front of his euphoric home crowd. The Holjes winner is here in Canada, but under a car instead of in it, working as a mechanic for OMSE in America's Rallycross. That fantastic win in Sweden, though, is still fresh in the memory.
To win in Holjes is really special, especially for us as Swedes. This is the race you want to win. But I think even for most of the rallycross drivers, Holjes is the race everyone wants to win. So to be able to do it is just amazing. I'm back to normal work. I'm here in Canada working with ARX2, working full time with OMSE. I think I can watch and learn a lot, and hopefully that makes me more prepared when I come back.
Eriksson's maiden win was made all the more sweet after the heartbreak of 5 years earlier, when broken suspension while leading the race cost him victory. Talk about poetic justice.
We came really close in 2014 to the win. I was leading the final. I broke my suspension that time, so it hurt for 5 years, but finally I got my redemption. There is no plan for me being back at the moment. For sure, I hope. So if there is any space available in any team, they can call me. I can jump right in, but it's no plans at the moment, but I really hope we can be back soon.
In the Drivers' Championship, Kevin Hansen's excellent showing puts him back on top of the standings, but the gap to big brother Timmy is just 6 points. Expect this title race to ebb and flow all the way to South Africa. In the team standings, Team Hansen MJP extend their lead over GRX Tanaco to 43 points, while a change of luck is needed for the Monster Energy RX cartel if they want to close the gap to the top 2. With just 4 rounds to go, time is running out to gate crash the Hansen party. Of the chasing pack, the most likely party poopers are a certain Andreas Backerud and Niklas Grnholm. But is it a realistic goal, or are they living in a field of dreams?
It's been a long time since I've had a win. It would mean the world to me to win a race. To win a FIA World Rallycross Championship race, you need everything to be dialed in perfectly, and that's what you need in a weekend. You need to be lucky with the draw. You need to be lucky with the grid position and starts. You can't have any mistakes. At that time, you can win a race.
Looking at the championship, the two Hansen brothers and Andreas is the guys to beat. This round is the turning point of the season. Every point you can get in this race is really critical, and everybody needs a strong result here. I think we have all the chance in the world to do it here in Canada.
You know, I'm here to win, and I feel the win is getting closer. We need a turnover, and you know, maybe this is the weekend.
So far this season, the race starts have seen some of the most dramatic action in World RX. From the season opener in Abu Dhabi, to the brand new venue at Spa, the rain-induced carnage at Hell, all the way to the last round in Holjes. But here in Timerzyanov, the opening corners arrive after the fastest straight in the whole of the championship, and with concrete walls on both sides. If someone has a score to settle, this is one place you don't want to be on the receiving end.
Right here in Canada was the longest straight we have in the calendar. We have a very wide start procedure right there, and then it tightens up a bit right here between the barrier we have here on this side. On the other side we have the concrete all the way down to turn one.
Come on, fifth gear is 200 kilometers an hour. 5 cars abreast down to this very, very fast turn one. We have 4th gears per year, so it's the fastest of the year for turn one action. And it's super wide, and as it's a long straight to it, and then all have to slot into a very narrow line through turn one, which creates a lot of action and a lot of bumping to this wall.
I felt how hard this corner can bite you. In 15, me and Petter had a crash where I ended up on the wall in the entry to the corner, and he ended up on the wall in the exit. It is hard here.
If you wrap too hard down there, you will lose a couple of kph, and then this is also an opportunity for the others. But you have to make your gap and you have to make your position, and this is for sure one of the most important things going down here.
If you want to win, you have to be brave enough and to be lucky enough to get first one out of the first corner.
It's a proper one. 200 kilometers per hour, have to hit the brakes in the perfect time, turn into this concrete wall and not hit that concrete wall. So it's a cool place.
As the drivers get themselves set for that lightning-fast drag to turn one, let's take a look at this unique street circuit here in Canada. Timerzyanov has been on the World Championship calendar since 2014, the start of the series. It's one of the longest tracks of the year, 61% asphalt, 39% dirt. Saturday afternoon in Canada, and qualifying got underway under sunny skies. In race one, it was Hansen versus Timerzyanov. The Russian got the whole shot, and come the Joker lap merge, he'd done enough, and he would take the checkered flag. Race two, and Liam Doran got tagged by Gerland Shisha in turn one, super sideways, but he managed to hold on to it. Bennett made a mistake which released Doran and allowed him to put in the quick laps. And come the Joker merge, the British bomb had done enough. He set a fantastic time. Race three, and Anton Marklund managed to get out the squeeze behind him to take the lead on the run to turn two. Grnholm and Scheider with a little bit of contact. Grnholm, though, put in some fantastic laps to close the gap down. He was close to Marklund, but not close enough. The final race of Q1 saw more contact off the start, but a brilliant start from Andreas Backerud, moving across to take a clean hole shot. He hammered in some super fast laps, while behind him, Bachuska managed to get the better of Sabo at the Joker lap merge. Backerud wins Q1. On to Q2, and the grids were reversed. Fastest first. Liam Doran took the lead, but Marklund got underneath him on the run to turn two. Doran, though, made this incredible move around the outside of the Joker corner to go back into the lead. It didn't last long. A technical for the Brit dropped him back. That left Backerud at the front to fight it out, but he wasn't quick enough to catch Anton Marklund. A win for the Swede. Race two. and Kevin Hansen, tagged by Baumanis, super sideways on the throttle, somehow held onto the Peugeot. Schischrit got the whole shot with Grnholm close behind. Grnholm jokered early, got the fast laps in, and came out in front at the merge. Race 3 and Janne Parssinen got the whole shot, but it wouldn't last long. The Finn's car broke on the gravel section. Sabo was being chased by Raymond, who jokered early, but Raymond made this mistake on the last lap, and that allowed Christian Sabo through to take the win. The final race of day 1 qualifying, Rokas Baciuska, with wheelspin in the centre of the grid, still managed to get to turn 1 first, and from there he remained unchallenged. But it was Niklas Grnholm who took the overnight TQ with the most consistent results of the World Rallycross regulars. Andreas Backrud in P2, Galan Schischrit third, Marklund in fourth, the GCK teammates right at the sharp end, Timerzyanov, Scheider, Baumanis and Doran the top 8. Baciuska, Sabo, Timmy Hansen and Kevin Hansen down in 11th and 12th. Not a great day for the World Championship leaders.
Gerlan, as both the driver and the team boss, you must be happy with Q1 and Q2 performance.
Yeah, pretty happy for sure. But as you say, it's only Q1, Q2, so let's stay focused for what is coming now.
And give us a sense of yesterday how the track developed, how you made changes to the car, and also learning to drive this track.
This is a quite specific track. You know, it's like the dot speed is really high, and also the double corners and all this are pretty technical and can cost a lot in time if you made a mistake. So it's really important to try to stay clean and tight, and that's what we was focused on yesterday. We also start to really be confident now with the cars and what we can do with the cars, and myself also start to really feel confident as the drivers. So it's really coming step by step, you know. So it's good.
And just how tricky is it when you've got these long, fast tarmac corners?
Yeah, the thing is, the last corners, I think they call 10 and 11 or 9 or 10, I forget, but anyway, the last corners. This one is the most important one, because if you miss this one, you miss like your top speed. So that's what you really need to be focused on the last 2 corners that give you a good speed, the top speed. And after turn 1 is also really important, because again, you have to carry as much as possible as speed as you can, sorry. And that's almost 1/3 of the track, so it's pretty important.
Okay, well, good luck today. We'll hopefully see you in the semis and the final.
Yeah, at least, yes, I hope.
Thanks, Glenn. Let's swing around here. If we can just have a quick word with Anton Marklund as well. Just speaking to team boss and teammate Galan Schischrit, how was yesterday for you? It looked like it was good in 4th overnight.
Yes, exactly. We were struggling a bit on the free practice. Didn't get up to speed really. We found something good for Q1, and the pace was all right, winning both Q1 race and Q2 race. So it was a great start to the weekend, but we know it's on the Sunday where everything is counting, and we need to be on the top of our game. So hopefully we can keep the good momentum from yesterday on today.
And just quickly, was there anything that you found in the car that you needed to change that helped with the performance yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was some kind of issue. We were trying some new things and it didn't really work out. So we just went back to what we knew from Norway and Holjes, where we had the pace. And yeah, in Q1 that just worked out really well.
Okay, well, well done. We'll let you get in the car ready for warm-up this morning.
Thank you very much.
Hello, my name's Andrew Coley. I'll be your commentator this weekend. Joining me in the commentary box, as always, is Dan Rook, and reporting from the paddock and the pre-grid, Neil Cole. Here's how we stand going into Q3. Niklas Grnholm was the overnight TQ. Backrud, Schischrit, Marklund, Timerzyanov, Scheider, Baumanis and Doran the top 8. At the minute, Baciuska, Sabo, Hansen and Hansen are the guys who are going to make the semi-finals. The first race of Q3 saw Timmy Hansen, who'd had a spin, and Liam Doran, who'd had a technical problem yesterday, battling it out with Janne Parssinen. Parssinen had a little bit of a contact with Liam Doran in the first corner, and that allowed Timmy Hansen through to the lead. Hansen was tidy through the Joker lap, but they just watered the track, and he was concerned that the drivers to follow would have better conditions. He takes the checkered flag. Race 2, and it was teammates Cyril Raymond and Guillaume de Ridder against Kevin Hansen. Kevin Hansen needed to move up the standings. He didn't need Cyril Raymond to shut the door in turn 1. A great move by the French driver. Joker lap tactics played out. GCK did well to keep Raymond in front of Kevin Hansen. De Ridder going later in the race. Kevin Hansen tried very hard indeed to find a way past Cyril Raymond. He even looked around the outside, but he couldn't get it done. Cyril Raymond takes the checkered flag. Hansen close behind and disappointed. Q3 race 3 all lined up and ready for the off. Anton Marklund, 4th after Q2, is on the inside. Next to him, Christian Sabo down in 10th. Andreas Backerud, 2nd, look in the middle of the grid. Timerzyanov in 5th. Ollie Bennett in 14th. Needs to make up a couple of places if he wants to make the semis. Bennett's gone for new tyres in that bid to make the semis. Timmer, 2 new on the outside, and Backerud, 2 new on the front. Green flag and revs are up already. Won't be long before they're on the way to turn 1. Noisiest place you could possibly stand at this venue is right there. Great arm, Backerud's gone backwards. Timerzyanov with a mega start. Sabo moving across to try and squeeze Marklund. Marklund's got the inside line, but Timmer's surely going to move across and close the door on both of them. He does. Oh, Bennett's deep on the brakes. He's almost into the back of Marklund. Backerud up the inside of Marklund, 4 wide. Backerud goes up from 4th to 2nd. Fantastic driving by the Norwegian. Marklund does well to stay out of trouble there, but it's Timerzyanov who's got the whole shots where he hit the gravel. Marklund goes Joker. Sabo's going to go with him. Sideways from the leading 2. Bennett's with them as well.
Yeah, fantastic start there by Timmer, but Backerud able to turn that around. He had an awful start off the line as he runs wide there, a bit of understeer on the way through that corner, and he dropped back a bit from Timerzyanov there. But yeah, fantastic move to get from what was a disaster up to P2.
He was 5th, wasn't he, on the run into turn 1 and made it up into 2nd place. So Backerud being very decisive indeed through the first couple of corners to get himself into a position where he could try and set a decent time. Andreas Backerud was 2nd overnight to Nicholas Grnholm. Grnholm's going to be in the last race. Anton Marklund was impressive yesterday. He had a 4th and a 6th to see himself in 4th place overnight. I thought the Hyundais would be strong here. We know how strong the engine is in this car. They've been absolutely flying this year. Backerud right with Timerzyanov, and they're not able to Joker at the moment because Bennett is only 2.1 behind them.
Yeah, so they don't want to get caught out by Bennett. And Bennett has gone to the Joker lap. I've just seen out of the commentary position, you can see on the graphic there. So now that gives Andreas and Timerzyanov the option to dip into the Joker lap. I think we'll see Andreas go on this next lap.
Timerzyanov was wild there over the crest. If Backerud goes now, he's only got 3.6 to get out, but that's not too bad. So have a look and see if that gap comes down to Marklund. Anton Marklund will be hoping to chase it down, as will the GCK guys. Now it's gone up. He's gone up by 7/10 of a second. Fastest lap of the day. Timerzyanov, 47.8. He dips into the 47s. So Timerzyanov back on great form, comes over the crest and into the arena. Backerud goes Joker now. He's out in the dirt around the outside, but he brings it in nice and close, rotates the car really early. Perfect Joker for me from Andreas Backerud, aggressive but tidy.
Yeah, and he did it when he needed to do it, and if he wanted to overlap Timerzyanov, but Timerzyanov's on a charge, so Andreas needs this lap now to be an absolute stormer.
Mistake from Marklund there, didn't get the transition quite right, and Bennett's right behind him. Bennett squirrely on the brakes as he comes over the crest. Timmer has 3.8 seconds at the moment. He needs about 2.7. Backerud's Joker was good. Timerzyanov's is going to need to be great.
Yeah, it needs to be absolutely awesome, but the gap has just gone up at another 10th, so Timerzyanov really on a charge.
Timerzyanov's done a 48.0 there, so he's absolutely flying. Timerzyanov, where was he overnight? P5. He had a 3rd and a 9th yesterday, so Q2 wasn't brilliant. On the handbrake, he's close into the inside, gets the car straight backwards on a big push on the standard lap, but it's not enough. The Russian driver comes out in first, out towards the wall every inch of the track. Fantastic stuff from Timerzyanov.
Yeah, fantastic car as well. We know the engine's strong, but the chassis as well, based on the WRC car. So in that thick gravel section, it's going to be coming into its own.
3:25.8 is the time which Timmy Hansen has at the moment to be at the top of the standings in Q3. Timerzyanov's going to come blasting past the commercial position now. Oh, he's easily done it. 3:23.5. That is 2.3 seconds faster. Right, that's the fastest time of the weekend for Timerzyanov. He's gone nearly 2 seconds quicker than anybody went in the World Championship yesterday. Amazing driving from the Russian. Brilliant. Timerzyanov takes it then and will move to the top of Q3. Backward is second, Anton Marklund third. Ollie Bennett was right behind Marklund too. Sabo down in 5th place. Timerzyanov and backward straight to the top of the table. Incredible time from Timmer. Can anyone beat that? So off the line, down towards turn 1. Backward, absolutely out of the back door at this point.
Yeah, really couldn't get it done. And then Timerzyanov moving across, getting the decisive move. Watch Andreas up the inside, really just hugged the barrier and gained like up to 2nd place. That was a fantastic move.
Oh, amazing. 3 cars in one position. Really, really good from backward. You know, it's difficult when you've lost the start like that to keep your head and cut back to the inside, and that's what he did. Bennett was impressive in this one to go with Marklund.
Yeah, very good job by him to be keeping up at the back of the GCK Megane.
This is what he needs. He needs to be in with the quick guys so that he can try to keep up and learn a bit more about their pace. But can anyone beat Timmer?
Timmer, big smile on your face. 2 seconds quicker, fastest time of the weekend so far. How did you do it?
Yeah, was really happy. I think we done a good job with the guys. We do some adjustments on the car. That's give me good feelings, but still, I think I was really lucky last lap on the first sector. I done so big mistake. I was close to the wall, crashed the wall like Timmy yesterday, but yeah, somehow I survived. I don't know, maybe I have 7th gear in between somewhere there, but this is really sideways, really kicking of the, like, how to say, I was thinking like my tires is coming back again. Not now, please, because everything was clean. I think I lost a little bit the brakes on the moment. Tried to be so fast because I saw the gap between the guys, and yeah, we know that we need to push really hard to get the good times, but flat out, and it's mistake. Actually, it was really close to crash my rear into the tires. I was like, but I think I get some points for the drifting.
Let's hope you find 8th gear later. Thank you.
Yeah.
Final race of Q3, here we go. Niklas Grnholm on the inside, he was the overnight TQ. Gulan Schischeritz next to him, fantastic performance to see him third. Rokas Bachuska is in 9th. Timo Scheider 6th, great performance by him. Likewise for Baumanis in 7th. Only Baumanis has taken a pair of new tyres on the front, and that's an indication of these guys being a little bit more confident about making it through to the semis and maybe saving some boots for that occasion. Right. Can Grnholm match the pace of his teammate Timerzyanov? That was an incredible run from the Russian. He's going to need to get the whole shot first. Brilliant start by Scheider, bit of wheel spin though. Going to get squeezed on Bachuska. Contact! Oh, Timerzyanov! Scheider, contact with Bachuska. Up on 2 wheels. I thought he was going to go over. Somehow he didn't. Grnholm is up the inside of Baumanis. Scheider reverses from the commentary position and handbrake turns on the start straight right underneath us and finally gets underway, but Grnholm leads from Baumanis. I thought Scheider was going over there. He was way up in the air.
Yeah, it's just such a tight squeeze. We've heard them talk about when they've done their track walks, how tight it goes just off the line there and then widens up again. And because they all had such an even start, they just squeezed in, and unfortunately Scheider got caught up in the squeeze there.
Oh, Schischeritz's car's broken. Schischeritz pulls over in the outside of the joke. That front left is off it. The front left wheel is off. Baumanis in the wall. Baumanis is in the wall. It is all happening in this last race of Q3. That's opened the door for Grnholm. There's debris on the straight. Backwards for Baumanis. That's the 2nd person we've seen going backwards in this race. Crazy.
God, disaster for everybody else, but for this man, he is absolutely on a mission. He's just got it easy now. He doesn't even have to worry about the gaps.
47.9, straight into the 47s.
Opening lap of 47.9, that's incredible from a standing start. And look at the big send he's got. He looks got so much control in the car. He's just so calm, isn't he?
Grnholm is absolutely flying. We already know that Timerzyanov made a mistake in his race, so Timmer thinks that he made a mistake. Did it cost him time? Maybe I was so close to the tyres. Maybe he's just taking risks and banging in the ultimate lap times. What can Grnholm do this time? Around the right-hander, he makes a mistake. So Grnholm's made a mistake on the brakes there. He's bogged the car.
Is there, I think there might be something down on the track surface. I've just saw that Marshall holding a slippery surface flag.
So potentially some fluids or something on the track, which would make sense with a couple of cars having had contact. There might be some fluids in the braking zone. That was a 48.3 for Niklas Grnholm. Okay, he's feathering the throttle through the long right-hander. How long would something like that stay with you, Dan, during the course of a lap if you're driving through a fluid like that?
I mean, I'm not too sure. Of course, they've then got the long straight afterwards, so hopefully it would get off their tyres by the time they're hitting the brakes into turn one.
Grnholm sends it from right to left. He's coming up again to this slippery braking zone. Let's see if we can see if there's anything here. I mean, it could just be the amount of gravel that's on the road. This time he gets it right through the right-hander. There's a slippery surface flag. He's after that. It's on the exit onto the straight.
So maybe some fluid down from where we saw the Scheider incident. There's
debris in the track. I mean, unless they're just warning for debris on the start-finish straight, which is from Scheider's car. You might see it next time they come down there. Grnholm's done a 47.9, so he's been into the 47s twice. But Timerzyanov did a 47.8. Grnholm goes into the Joker lap. It's tidy, he's patient on the throttle, and now he's just chasing the clock down, flicks the car to the left and the right. He's so comfortable in this. I'm gutted he missed those races this year. I think you're looking at potentially who would have been the World Rallycross champion.
Yeah, he's had such a stellar performance this year, hasn't he? And if he wasn't for missing those races, he would have been way up there.
Grnholm comes around the double right-hander. Got to get the throttle on early. Now it's about pulling gears at the perfect split second. 3:23.5 is the target of his teammate. It's not enough, 0.2 of a second. Niklas Grnholm goes second. It is a 1-2 for GRX in Q3. Timerzyanov takes the session from Niklas Grnholm, but that's going to see Grnholm stay at the top of the timesheets because he was the overnight TQ. So great performance by him. Timo Scheider's just come past the commentary position. He's finished the race. I thought he was going to end up on his roof. We're going to need to take a look back at that start in a minute, but that was incredible. Niklas Grnholm takes Q3 race 4 with a 3:23.7. It's Bachuska who's second. We barely saw anything of everybody else. Baumanis dropped back after he ended up in the tyre wall. Scheider nearly ended up on his roof. Sheetschritt broke the car and has a DNF. So Timerzyanov, look, has won the session from Grnholm. Backwards right up there. So's Timmy Hansen. Kevin Hansen actually ended up in 7th. So we should see the Hansens move up, and we're seeing all the fast guys get back towards the sharp end. Right, here we go. Watch the start. We had the rear shot off the line, then we switch to the front, and this is the squeeze. Watch for Scheider. It's just as they're coming around.
Just in our blind spot there, isn't it?
I could see it from the there it is. That was what I saw from the commentary position. And Scheider, I thought was going to go over. He then handbrake turned the car around and carried on off. Sheetschritt's car's already broken, look. Do you see?
Oh, yeah, you can see the wheel just absolutely gave way there as he came through turn
So
one.
was he in that sandwich with Bachuska as well? So Bachuska potentially, I mean, we need to see it again, really, don't we? Wow. Broken suspension for Sheetschritt out immediately. This was Baumanis dropping it on the brakes, and then we saw Grnholm make a mistake, and that little mistake that he made in that corner could have been enough to see Timerzyanov win. It's 2/10.
Yeah, I'm sure that mistake cost Grnholm the qualifying session.
Great performance by GRX. They're 1-2 in Q3. There's Sheetschritt's car being recovered. Suspension off the front left corner. Sheetschritt was in 3rd, remember, so they need to get that car fixed up and get him sent back out. Sheetschritt will be hoping to make it through to the semi-finals. Neil Cole is with Niklas Grnholm.
Niklas, another good time, another race win, but it looks like the circuit is still really tricky this morning.
Yeah, now it's starting to create some holes and stuff, but otherwise it's more or less the same as yesterday.
And did you enjoy that race? Because there's a lot going on. You got damage to your bumper.
Yeah, we had a big collision with Janis in the first corner. I hit the beton wall on the inside and Janis on the outside, so the steering wheel is a bit bent, but yeah, it wasn't a clean run. I made a mistake here on lap 2. I almost went into the tires, so lost a lot of time, and yeah, from there on it was a bit more careful than yesterday, so there's more to come, but okay, it's a good result for the overall classification, so I guess I'm still leading, so it's good.
Well done, Kitos.
Thanks.
Here are the standings at the end of Q3, and Niklas Grnholm retains his top qualifier spot, but look, 3 different people have won the first 3 sessions. It's Bakrud in second, Timerzyanov, moves up to third from fifth, having won Q3. Marklund holds fourth place. Doran is in fifth, Timmy Hansen is sixth. That's great. Doran moves up from eighth and Timmy Hansen from 11th. Shisha down to seventh, so all to play for Grnholm if they can get that car fixed. Timo Scheider is in eighth after nearly being on his roof on the start-finish straight. Baumanis, Kevin Hansen, Bachuska and Christian Sabo at the minute are your top 12 with one session left to go. Well, we've got some fantastic slow-motion pictures for you guys to take a look at of the very technical track here at Timerzyanov. Timerzyanov, the winner, of course, of the round at Spa earlier on this year. This is a track he's much more familiar with, Dan, but one which is very tricky to master. Yeah, very, very tricky. There are a few corners which really make up the key points to this circuit, and we are looking at one of them right now, turn one. Anton Marklund through the long, fast right-hander. It's tricky, isn't it, with such a high-speed approach to this and no room for mistakes either side of it. This is the joker lap. Liam Doran around the outside line. Yeah, Liam running probably too wide there. I'm sure he would even admit that. But this track, the gravel here is so thick that you can really throw the car around. It's one of those tracks that the drivers can really have some fun. Yeah, it's proper loose dirt all the way down to the base. Liam straightening the car up late there. And if you want a tidy joker here, you need to be a little bit closer to the barrier. Yeah, so we're watching Timmy Hansen there, not running as wide as Liam and getting the car much straighter on the exit, getting that extra speed out of the corner. You can see the amount of dust in the background gives you an idea of how loose the surface is. They do water it in between sessions sometimes. Hansen then with the transition, and that's one of two transitions which is crucial to a fast lap time. Beautiful angle there on the car control. Yeah, you have to really get the flow of the car behind you at this circuit, using the left foot brake to transition the weight around and get the movements you need. Grnholm coming up over the jump, which enters the horse trotting arena. It's a cambered, banked horse trotting arena, so they have to fill in the gap for the cars to fly over from the tarmac street circuit onto the dirt. The Hyundai looking brilliant again. Yeah, fantastic. Pitching the car in early there to really get the rotation and throwing it around. See, he's got opposite lock on there really early in the corner. Cyril Raymond in the GCK Academy Clio. I think this is coming around. This is the rear shot, I think, of the joker lap. Yeah, the Jeep there in the middle from the joker lap, and Cyril there looking like he got the rotation going quite well. Maybe a little bit too sideways on the exit. Too early on the gas with that? Yeah, or maybe not quite getting the rotation early enough in the corner to enable the wheels to be straight on the way out. This is the last pair of corners, the double right-hander. It's a super slippery braking zone. You can see Sabo there is potentially coming a little bit too hot and over-rotated it on the way in. Yeah, it's the trickiest corner on the circuit, and you've got a downhill, marbly braking zone, so it's so easy to just overcook it. Kevin Hansen through the double right-hander, super smooth look, and it's around to the right. Get as close to that wall as you can, and a long blast back down the straight. There's just one session of qualifying left to go here in Timerzyanov, and here is how we stand. 3 different winners in 3 different sessions sees Niklas Grnholm as currently the TQ, Baccarat in second, Timerzyanov third, Marklund, Doran, Hansen, Shisha and Scheider your top 8. Baumanis, Kevin Hansen, Bachuska and Sabo are currently in. Everybody else looking for a place in this last session. First race of Q4 featured Gulan Shisha looking to recover from broken suspension in Q3. He got the whole shot ahead of Timo Scheider, gapped him over the first couple of laps and held on to take the first win of the session. Another 3-car race coming up next. Let's take a look at the grid. Rokas Bachuska, Guillaume de Ridder and Yanis Baumanis. So Bachuska is just inside the top 12 at the moment. 4 new tyres for him, and I imagine that's an attempt to boost him further. In de Ridder in 15th. He'd need a really good run, but it's not impossible to make it, and Baumanis in 9th. So all these guys then want to get a decent time. good start. Baumanis on this side. Baciuska and Derrida will surely give themselves a little bit of space on the run down to the first corner. Baumanis is clearly in front as they pass the commentary position. He shuts the door and gets on the brakes. Derrida going to look and see if he can pass Baciuska on the run to the second corner. Derrida's up the inside of Baciuska, but thinks better of it and slots into third.
Yeah, Derrida there with quite a wise move. You saw him early on decide he wanted to get the wider line on the way in, try and copy his team boss, as we see Baciuska now going for the Joker lap, trying to get that out of the way, getting out the spray of Baumanis in front of him.
So Baciuska's gone in. Derrida is the car that's in front of him now. So GCK very much in control here of what happens to their cars. Derrida makes a mistake on the transition. That's going to put Baciuska right behind him, so they might well be on the radio to him saying you need to let Baciuska go. But I imagine the easiest way to do that is with the Joker.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Derrida go in now for team tactics reasons. He's pulled right over to the left-hand side of the track, but that's to get the straight line in. But Baciuska's looking up the inside, and Derrida cuts the nose of him off, but he can't get past him. So Derrida, I would imagine, is going straight for the Joker lap on this lap.
So we'll keep an eye on the lap times. Baciuska beautifully sliding through that double right-hander over the crest now. Derrida does go Joker, so GCK on top of that strategy. Baciuska now want to chase down the gap to Baumanis. It was 4.1 seconds. Look at the top there, it's gone up to 4.3, and that could be a result of catching up with Derrida in turn one. So Baumanis could well go on this next lap down to cover that off.
Yeah, it would make good sense for him to go in. He's then of no risk of coming out behind Baciuska, and also if he was to then go another lap and maybe make a mistake and lose that time, then he would drop back. So I'd say he's going to go in now.
This circuit isn't one, is it, where it really matters when you Joker as such? I mean, obviously, tactically it matters and for vision, but there are some tracks where you really want to Joker on the last lap because of lap time, but with his position here, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so Baumanis has chosen not to go into the Joker lap, but yeah, like I say, with the Joker lap being in the middle of the lap, it doesn't make any difference to overall race time. Because, say, for example, where we've got Estering, where it's faster to go on the last lap because of the loss of speed you get over the start-finish line.
Yeah, so lots of calculations going on. There are times then that's frustrating then, because if you need to Joker tactically, and that's why you want the whole shot at a track like Estering, so you can choose to Joker on the last lap. If you don't get that whole shot, you feel you're faster, you have to Joker, but then you know you've compromised the ultimate pace. So it is a complicated business being a spotter. Derrida taking a couple of tenths off Baciuska on that last one. Gap is 3.4 at the minute, which should easily be enough. We said 2.7 has been about right today and yesterday. Into the Joker goes Baumanis. Oh, it's got closer. Baumanis has got enough. So Yanis Baumanis was in P9 and Baciuska was in P11. Both Scheider and Schischeret were ahead of them, so they'd like to beat those times. Schischeret was a 3:27.7, bottom of your screen. Just the drag race to the line now. Checker flag is out. When the clock going to stop, it is a 3:27.405. Baumanis goes faster by 3 tenths. Baciuska with his 27.9 is just behind Schischeret by 2 tenths. So 2 tenths either side of Schischeret's time from the previous run. Baumanis gets this one. Baciuska and Derrida P2 and P3. Baumanis goes top of the table, so he will be hoping that's going to close down the gap a bit on Schischeret in front. He was only 4 qualifying points behind him, so he needs a few people to slot in between them, and that's a bit of a big ask when there's only 3 tenths there to fill that gap. Off the line, bit of tyre smoke from the rear of Derrida. Baumanis, though, clearly with a whole shot and able to move across. Dan, how brave do you have to be to do that, or does your spotter tell you, you know, they're up on the tower here just where we are? You can almost say, can't you, you close the door?
Yeah, they've got a good vision by the time they get to the point where they're crossing the line here to decide if they can cut across or not. So Baumanis got that call and he made it stick for the rest of the race, and he came out on top.
Yanis, quickest so far. Looks like it's hot, dusty work in the car.
It's not too bad. Outside is, I don't know, 20 degrees, inside a little bit more, so I'm quite enjoying it. It's not as hot as humid as yesterday, but I hope for the semi-finals and the finals I will be really sweaty inside here.
Well done, Holjes.
Thank you.
Q4 race 3 all lined up. Here is who is on the line. Cyril Raymond, Kevin Hansen, Anton Marklund, Ollie Bennett and Christian Sabo. You can see 10th, 13th, 14th and 12th. It's only Anton Marklund who's safe here, and Anton's got 4 new tyres. Christian Sabo's gone for 4 and Cyril Raymond as well. So a lot to play for. Kevin Hansen also hoping to close down that gap to the front runners and not lose too many championship points at this stage in the weekend. Green flag, looking for the ready to race light. Wait for the anti-lag. Oh, bad start, Anton Marklund, not a good reaction time. Kevin Hansen's got him, he's in the squeeze in between Bennett and Hansen. Oh, Marklund sideways. Bennett almost in the wall, just about holds on. It's Hansen versus Raymond on the way down to turn 1. He goes around the outside. Kevin Hansen's got it done. Sabo is inside Marklund. Marklund drops back. Cyril Raymond with a little bit of a moment on the brakes there too. But Kevin Hansen's come out of that melee on the way down the straight in the lead. Ah, Bennett's out, broken steering, done for the weekend. Dust up into the commentary position from his tyre. Cyril Raymond almost up the inside. He's going to flick it back the other way. Sabo too. Kevin Hansen's got the whole shot though.
Luckily we didn't see anybody fly in the air this time round, but this is perfect for Kevin. Although everybody seems to be piling into the back of him, maybe not able to get the turn in on that corner like he wanted to. But this is what he needed, down in P10, now he's up the front of this train.
Kevin doesn't have the pace we've seen him have for the rest of the year here at the minute, and he's under pressure from Cyril Raymond. And I think it's fair to say Cyril's car isn't quite as good as Kevin's. So I don't know if Kevin's not running that well this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, maybe pressure coming into this as the championship leader could be getting to him. I mean, it could be a number of factors. It might just not be his track in general. But, yeah, we aren't quite seeing the performance we're used to seeing from Kevin, but he might be able to see him dish it out this time round.
As I was going to say, they pulled it out of the bag at the last minute before, haven't they? Cyril Raymond feels he can go quicker, so he's gone joker. So Cyril Raymond is now going to have a couple of quick laps. He'll try and cover off Kevin Hansen. Kevin Hansen's spotters will be across that. Of course, that's the Hansen family in Graham Rodemark. They'll be looking at the times. They were intently looking at their stopwatches this morning up in the spotters tower. They're analysing every single thing.
Yeah, and that's what you've got to do, especially when you're at such a high level. All these guys are such a equal level in performance, so every single tenth matters, and that strategy, especially with a joker lap in a place like here where it's difficult to overtake, they are going to be on the stopwatches doing their maths.
Kevin Hansen a 49.0 and a 49.7, so he's not into the 48s yet. Baumanis was, Shisha was, Bachuska. So we're thinking, who's got a puncture? So Marklund's got a puncture on the rear left, we're hearing, and in fact he comes past the commentary position with the tyre smoking. There it is. So a message there coming from race control about Marklund's puncture to us. Kevin Hansen backs the car in on the loose. And this entire stadium smells of Cooper tyres. Thanks to Ollie Bennett and Anton Marklund. Bennett is a DNF. You'll see the car parked in the background at turn 1. Kevin Hansen still has Christian Sabo right behind him. Let's see the lap time this time round as he goes on to the last lap. Kevin is a 49.0 again.
Yeah, and Sabo behind him a 48.8, so Kevin really not got the ultimate pace. Maybe we could have seen more come from Sabo as well.
I wonder if Kevin as well, don't think Kevin's on used tyres, and so, you know, is it the fact that they're saving a set for the semis, knowing that they want to make a move there? But for me, I'd kind of want to be further up the grid on the semis. I might use those tyres now.
Yeah, but I think he used the new set on the last qualifier.
Cyril Raymond comes out from the merge. Sabo's got him though, or sideways, and he's going to go round the outside of him. Little tag. Oh, he's going to have to light the throttle up and flick it back the other way. Just about holds on. Fantastic. Oh, sideways again over the crest. He'll be late on the brakes. Sabo's alongside him, trying to make the pass in the last corner. Go for the undercut. Christian Sabo's going to get on the gas. Drag race to the line for P2. Kevin Hansen's going to take this one. He comes down to take the checker flag. Cyril Raymond just holds on for Christian Sabo. Kevin's time of 3:28.8 is only good enough for 4th, and we've got a whole 5 more cars to come. So it's going to depend how quick this next race is. Waiting for Anton Marklund to come round and trigger the timing. There he is. Oh, you can hear the tyre flapping in the wheel arch. And the wheel scraping away down. There's Ollie Bennett parked at the end of the straight. Here comes Marklund. Smoke pouring from the rear left. So where was Marklund? Marklund was in 4th. So, well, with Marklund's retirement, things could change slightly. So So here is the result then. Ollie Bennett with a DNF. Marklund 4.05 thanks to that rear tyre coming off. Sabo is third, losing out to Cyril Raymond on the last lap, and Kevin Hansen takes it with a 3.28.8. That's where they slot into. The three of them drop in behind Baumanis, Shisharit and Bachuska. We've got 5 fast guys still to come.
Bit of a messy start once again here, and you can see the squeeze as they come to the narrow part of the track. Ollie Bennett there is front right just being ripped off, and that was where Marklund, we think, also picked up his puncher, but Kevin Hansen was able to get the run out in front and come out of turn 1 first.
Yeah, interesting off the start, wasn't it? Poor old Bennett was the biggest victim there. Broken suspension straight away. We saw the squeeze, didn't we? It was just at that point where we switched cameras as we come around the front of the Hippodrome. This was Kevin going joker with Sabo. Cyril Raymond coming off. And this was where Cyril nearly managed to get past Sabo. Look, Sabo just got a bit sideways, and Cyril went around the outside. Tiny tag there, and Cyril then, like on the gas, having to hold on to it. He did well to hang on to that, didn't he?
Yeah, superb car control there, and the gravel was so thick. Zaba then trying to run the outside, but I don't think that was ever going to stick on this corner. There's so many concrete walls.
Yeah, fantastic start and a fantastic finish to that one.
Kevin, there was a lot going on in that race. Did you feel that the action was slowing you down at all? What was your perspective?
First of all, nice to be here finally with you. I had a really rough start. I had decided this needs to be my run. And it was, not in every way it wasn't my run, but okay, I survived the action on the straight. I never like when people push you on the straight. We race on it on the track. Then on the run, I was a bit safe. It wasn't my best run. I really just needed to grab that P1. So I think for sure I can drive better, but it is like it is, and in the end of the day we are through, so that's nice.
Yeah, well done, it's good to see you get a Q win.
Let's take a look at the grid for the final race of qualifying from round 7 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship at Trois-Rivières. Timerzyanov and Niklas Grnholm on the inside, P1 and P3 after Q3, separated by just 0.2 of a second. Andreas Backer was in second after Q3. Doran looking 5th on the outside of the grid, Timmy Hansen in 6th. So we've got both the Monster Energy RX Cartel cars, both the Grnholm RX cars, and Timmy Hansen on his own. Hansen is 6th at the minute and wants to chase down that points gap to his brother at the head of the championship standings. Hold tight, here we go, semi-final positions and the top qualifiers are being decided now. Oh, great start all the way across the grid. Backer maybe edges it at the middle, 3, Hansen's in between him and Doran. Doran drops in behind Hansen. Oh, contact for Backer. Oh, around at high speed. Grnholm into the side of Timmy. Backer goes backwards. Timmy tags him on the way round. Carnage at the start. Grnholm gets the whole shot. Doran up. The doors open on Timerzyanov's car. Liam Doran right underneath back. Grnholm, what happened there?
No, it's just another case of a turn 1 squeeze, isn't it? 5 cars into 1 doesn't always go. I think Andreas maybe...
Oh, Liam's hit the wall. Liam's hit the wall with the rear right as the car's still in one piece. Liam hit the wall quite hard there, Dan.
Yeah, just running the car too wide on the gravel section there and just tagging the wall, but they all seem to be looking okay. Timerzyanov go around with the door flapping open, so that's going to be a big distraction to him.
That dust is going to be in his lungs and in his eyes. If you can imagine trying to breathe hard, driving a race car as fast as you can in that dust, Dan, that is a nightmare.
Yeah, that's really not what he wants, and as much as the driver tries to zone in, that door flapping is still going to be a distraction for him, especially on the high speeds here. And this turn 1, the door's going to be wide open, as you can see as he comes around there. It's really not what he wants.
Not what he needed at all. Not what Backer and Hansen needed either. Backer was in P2, Timmy Hansen was in P6. They're going to drop down here. Whether or not it's going to affect where they start the semi-finals, we'll have to wait until the end of the session to find out. Timerzyanov goes joker. Timmy's already gone. Timerzyanov's going to cover off Timmy Hansen here. It's going to be fairly easy for him. I think Timmer might have gone there to try and get out of the dust, Dan, because he wasn't going to get past. You might as well give yourself a bit of breathing space.
Yeah, and he also had the room to Timmy Hansen as well, so it made perfect sense for him to do that and try and get the gap. But look at the dust, we can barely see him as they come towards the final corner, and Timerzyanov's going to have that all in his eyes, all in his mouth. It's going to be completely horrible for him. Liam with a bit of sideways as he come off. Liam with a puncher. Liam with a puncher.
Rear right puncher on Liam Doran's car. We can see that from the commentary position as he came by. So Liam Doran's got to hang on now as long as he can. The team will be on the radio to tell him if he doesn't know already, and Danny's lucky that it's on that side in terms of all the tarmac corners are going the right way, but it's this next corner which is going to hurt Liam Doran. He's going to go joker now, and then he'll have to try and defend like mad and hold on. All going off in the final race of Q4. Liam comes out just in front of Timerzyanov. Now he's going to come under attack big time.
Yeah, massive, but luckily for him, with the left-hand corners being gravel corners, the wheel will dig in and he'll still find grip, whereas if he was on tarmac, he would struggle a bit.
Oh, maybe a bit of contact over the jump. Doran bursts out from the dust onto the track. Bit of understeer. Timerzyanov looking for a way through, but Timmer's door is open. This is just wild. Timmy Hansen chasing those two down. He might like to pick a couple of them off if he can. Backward, he's way on the back door. Timmer looks up the inside of Doran, but Doran holds on through turn one. This is a hero drive from Liam Doran. Meanwhile, out front, Grnholm was checked out big time. Timmy Hansen into the back of Timerzyanov now. So Grnholm's lap times, he's in the 48s, but he's in the mid to high 48s, so he's not absolutely flying, but that'll be partly track conditions. Grnholm's got this easily. We're looking at the bell behind. Hansen, he had Timmer, and he got past. There's three cars still. Backerud past all three. Backerud moves up the second. Hansen in reverse. Doran two, they're all stuck. Timerzyanov can't get through. Timmy Hansen's car, I reckon, is broken. He spins it back round. Liam Doran picks up. He's back into P3. Timerzyanov has gone backwards. Grnholm comes past the competition now. He takes it with a 3:26.8. He wins Q4. Niklas Grnholm is the top qualifier here. Backerud goes from 5th to 2nd on the final lap. Unbelievable scenes in Canada. What a way to round out qualifying. Timerzyanov's coming around the last double right-hander. Doran is coming down the start finish straight. Super sideways over the line from Doran in 6th gear. Timmer's going to crawl over the line with a broken door, and I don't even know what else. Timmy Hansen is just desperately trying to drag that car around. Timmy Hansen is going to drop down the standings here. He's hoping to gain time on his brother. That was carnage.
Oh, time to breathe, I think.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I was just
look at the front left on the car is completely destroyed, and I'm not sure how much time they've got before the semis, but they've got a lot of hard work to be doing at the Hansen camp.
What on earth happened there? I would talk about replays. I want to see the whole race again. Timmy Hansen is behind that flag. He's desperate to make it to the line. I'm not sure he's going to make it. It's going to be a DNF if he doesn't. Hansen is crawling to the line. He's got to cross the line if he wants to not have a DNF. Look at the car. It's absolutely crippled. It's right underneath the commentary box now. He's going to cross the timing loop. There it is. And you can hear it. Well, applause from the crowd for finishing the race. That is the wildest end to qualifying I've ever seen in the World Rallycross Championship. Niklas Grnholm takes it with a 3:26.8, and that is a decent time, not as fast as we've seen during the course of the weekend, but he was the only man who stayed out of trouble. Backerud went from 5th to 2nd on the last lap when Doran, Timerzyanov and Hansen parked it completely nose to tail on the standard lap just inside the Joker. There it is, Grnholm at the top. Everybody else is nowhere. Who has made the semis? I have no idea.
Niklas, I'm sure you won't be aware, but that was an absolutely insane race behind you. Everyone was hitting everyone else, but it didn't affect you.
No, I don't know what happened behind me. Just that I got sandwiched into turn one, and Backerud and Timo went straight on into each other, and yeah. From there on, it was more or less trying to control the speed and not hit the potholes. And it's now really rough on the track, and hopefully it will be a bit better in the afternoon. But yeah, you have to master every conditions. But now for the moment, it's really rough.
But well done. That means you are top qualifier. Good job.
Thank you.
Right, here we go, replays. So on the way down to the first corner, it's a big old squeeze through here, look. No, this is okay, so Doran slotted in. Backward turns in across Grnholm and spins himself into the path of Timmer. Timmer then can't avoid Timmy. Timmy then can't avoid Andreas. So Andreas, for me, caused that by turning in across the front. Now Timmer's door's open, that's from the contact. What else have we got?
Liam hitting the wall here, and that's what causes puncture later on. I think it might have been a slow puncture, but...
Good spot, Dan, yeah, fair play. Maybe a broken rim. So this is Grnholm, he's got no problem. Now we know Liam's got the puncture, but as you said, the rear right will dig in on the loose, and all of the tarmac is right-handers. So he's had a touch with that. Off the gravel here, and Timmer's right behind him, and Timmy is right there as well. Now I think it's the next lap. So here's Grnholm, watch this. Liam kind of goes straight on. Timmy tries to cut the inside and ends up hitting him. I don't know what Timmer was doing. He rode the berm around the outside. And look, you couldn't have parked them worse. I mean, backward goes, thank you very much. Although it's still a disastrous time for him as well. The three of them get away. Timmy, look, I think that's got to be fully... Well, of course, the front left's completely off the car.
Yeah, and he's obviously front driver's gone as well, so only rear-wheel drive.
Here are the standings at the end of qualifying after that amazing last race. Niklas Grnholm with 2 session wins is the top qualifier. It's his second career TQ after taking one, of course, at Norway 2 events ago. Backrud holds on to second and Timerzyanov on to third. So the top 3 remain unchanged despite their results not being great. Schiesschritt moves up from 7th to 4th. Baumanis from 9th to 5th. Liam Doran goes down from 5th to 6th. Bachuska is into 7th place and Marklund in 8th. Bachuska was in 11th before. Kevin Hansen's up to 9th. Oh my God, Timmy Hansen hasn't made it. Timmy Hansen has not made the semi-finals. The man who is in 2nd place in the World Rallycross Championship has not made the semi-finals. Scheider, Raymond and Szabo are in. Timmy Hansen is out. Well, a pretty amazing end to qualifying here at Grand Prix Trois-Rivières, GP3R. We've got just the 3 races to go, 2 semi-finals for the World Rallycross Championship. I'm going to let you guys catch up then with the America's Rallycross final, which happened just a few minutes ago. And then, of course, you're going to get to see the final for round 7 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship from Trois-Rivières in Canada. Cars are down on the pre-grid. You can see Kevin Hansen putting his race suit on, back left. Amazing that we're not going to see Timmy Hansen putting his on. The car's there. Is that as reserve, Dan, I assume?
Yeah, he's first reserve, so in case one of these guys has a problem on the grid and can't make the final, he's going to be ready there to jump in and take the spot.
It's incredible, though. It's 4 points. That's it. 4 points.
I mean, did we see him a couple of years back step in as a reserve and go on to take the win? Was that?
Well, we've Liam Doran nearly did it, didn't he, in Norway? But it's not a great points haul for the man who was in P2 in the championship. So a lot comes down now to what happens with the top 2 guys in qualifying. Niklas Grnholm and Andreas Backrud have taken 16 and 15 points respectively. Kevin Hansen only took 8 from qualifying, so the gap is coming down at the front of the field. If Kevin can't make it through to the final and Backrud and Grnholm do, we could be in for an epic end to this season. There's a small tank parked next to the commentary box. I'm slightly concerned as to why there is a small tank next to the commentary box. There's some nice people sitting in the grandstands. Yeah, well, there we go. Maybe we can find the tank for you in a minute. In the meantime, Niels managed to find Gerland Schiesschritt. So Niels with Schiesschritt down in the pre-grid.
Gerland, first of all, well done for putting yourself on the front row of semi-final 2. That's very good, but a special congratulations because, excuse me, I think this is the first time you've had all 4 GCK cars in the semi-finals. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Before we did 3 already, but 4 it's really, really good. So happy with the boys, happy with the team. So the biggest job now is to stay focused, and we have 2 races coming. So let's do it.
From the front row, it's a good place to be into turn 1 and then turn 3. You really look like you've got to grips with the tarmac sections by now.
Yeah, I think we have been working a lot, and I think we did a good job. And the whole weekend we had the pace. We was quite fast here, so I feel confident. I think I can match with the Audi. It's just a question of if I'm going to take a good start or not. But as I said to Andreas, I'm going to take my chance for sure. I will make it hard for him. So let's see what's going on. And
as the team boss, a quick word about Anton and Cyril and Rokas, their performance this weekend.
Yeah, well, everybody was good, and Rokas, it's really happy. He's coming late on board, but he's fast. He's a really good kid, and I'm super happy to having him. Cyril, he was a bit difficult yesterday, but now today he is much more confident, and he did a really good job. And Anton, like always, Anton is always fast. He had some little bit bad luck, but you know he's there, and I think we can do good semi. Let's see.
Bon courage.
Merci, merci, merci.
So they're very happy to have 4 of their 5 cars in. Of course, the only one who hasn't made it is Guillaume de Ridder. Guillaume, best of luck, mate, for the last 3 events this year. Dan, you've raced against Guillaume. We know he's a class act.
Yeah, he really is. When he was performing in RX2, he was, one of the main people to beat and was able to take it to Ollie Eriksson, who we know is super quick in the RX2 cars. So it's a shame that Guillaume's debut season in the supercar isn't all going his way.
That was Timerzyanov sitting down in the pre-grid area. There's Kevin Hansen, who's qualified 9th. Baumanis, one of the drivers that Kevin could do with beating if he wants to make it through to the final. Baciuska just behind Baumanis. So much to unfold in the next hour. Potentially the World Rallycross Championship could be blown wide open. We'll see. Stay with us. Hello from Trois-Rivières in Canada. We are here for round 7 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship 2019. It hasn't all been blue skies and sunshine. We had some thunderstorms yesterday. They avoided the World Rallycross stars, but the carnage hasn't avoided them. Today, we've seen some scenes unfold which we certainly were not expecting. If you've missed the action, well, you shouldn't have done. It's been amazing. It's been brilliant. But if you have missed it, stay with us, because the World Championship is either going to be blown wide open, or are we going to see a recovery drive from Kevin Hansen? My name's Andrew Coley. Joining me on commentary duty is Dan Rook. Reporting from the paddock, as always, is Neil Cole. Let's take a look at the knockout qualifying standings. So this is your top 16, and of course only the top 12 go through, and that is crucial. So look at the list of names: Grnholm, Backer, Timerzyanov, Schischert, Baumanis, Doran, Baciuska, Marklund, Kevin Hansen, Scheider, Raymond and Sabo. Crucially, Timmy Hansen, P13, the man who's second in the driver standings, just 6 points behind his brother Kevin, has not made the cut. He had a disaster in Q4. There he is, semis. Odds go to semi 1, evens to semi 2. So it's an all GRX Hyundai i20 front row for Grnholm and Timerzyanov in semi 1. Baumanis, Baciuska, Kevin Hansen still Raymond. Kevin Hansen has got to get into the top 3, otherwise the championship lead could be cut down, because on pole in semi 2, Andreas Backrud with Schischert next to him. Liam Doran able to play rear gunner to his teammate Backrud. Marklund able to play rear gunner for Schischert, Scheider and Sabo. Now Backrud and Grnholm were 20-odd points behind the Hansen brothers, but this is how the standings are, having had Hansen only get P13 and Kevin Hansen P8. So we're going to be able to bring you an updated points. There you go. So Timmy Hansen is now 10 points off his brother Kevin. He was only 6 points behind, but crucially Backrud, look, is only 5 points off the back of Timmy Hansen. So he's closed it, and he's only 15 points off Kevin Hansen. So that has closed down a little bit. What's absolutely key here is whether or not Kevin Hansen makes it through to the final. If he doesn't make it and Backrud and Grnholm do, that lead could be slashed even further. Now, Backrud, of course, will be aware of the championship situation. He's P2 here after qualifying, and Neil Cole caught up with him earlier on the pre-grid.
Andreas, you've got yourself in pole position for semi-final 2 here in Canada. A lot of the hard work is already done. What comes next?
That's a very good question. I mean, I've been in this position very many times, and it's gone all the ways in the book. So, I mean, we're just going to continue working on our tasks, have a good start, try to have a clean run, not like in Q4. That's already behind us, and hopefully we get to be there somewhere in the final, fight for a podium position. That would be great.
Just a quick word about this circuit, because that's a long straight and then some really nice drifty mud sections. Just a little bit about how nice the circuit is.
It is pretty cool, to be honest. Like, no, the track is tearing apart a little bit. You have some big ruts, you have some pretty big dust sections. It's very hard to be from car number 3 and backwards, so you really do want to be the first guy into the first corner, and or actually first driver out of the 3rd corner. That's the magic, I think. Yeah, absolutely. It's a cool track. Nice to be here. The weather is great. Fans are cool. So yeah, I think we are up for a good race.
Good luck, Andreas.
Merci beaucoup.
Here we go then, semi-final time at round 7 of the World Rallycross Championship. This one is absolutely crucial. Let's take a look at the grid. TQ man there, Niklas Grnholm, Timerzyanov, his teammate, lining up next to him on the front row. Janis Baumanis and Rokas Baciuska are row 2. The World Championship leader, Kevin Hansen, is on row 3 with Cyril Raymond, who's had a couple of great fights with this weekend. So Grnholm is potentially too far back, but you would have said that about Bakkerud maybe prior to this weekend. Grnholm's just looking for the wins. Kevin Hansen has to make it through to the final, otherwise he's going to lose a fair old number of points to his championship rivals. Here we go. Great start, the front row for Timerzyanov, not quite so good for Grnholm. Baumanis alongside. Kevin Hansen going right across the inside. Baciuska's there too. Squeeze for Grnholm. Baumanis is up into P2. Timerzyanov's got the lead, maybe a bit of contact. Grnholm on the inside in P3. Kevin Hansen's down in P4. They'll never get through there at that width. Grnholm starts into 3rd. Kevin Hansen is up to P4 already.
Grnholm going backwards off the start there. That is not what he wanted after the performance he's put in so far this weekend. And Kevin, last-minute decision to go to the Joker lap there. He needs to get that done. He was in P4. He has to make the tactics work for him now to get up into the final.
So Kevin is in front of Baciuska. Unless he makes a mistake, that's guaranteed. He's got to get up into 3rd place. Remember, the track will have been maintained, so these guys feeling their way around a little bit for the grip. At the minute, it's Timerzyanov, Baumanis and Grnholm, and these guys are going to be well aware of what Kevin's up to behind them. I wouldn't be surprised to see some early jokers to cover him off.
For me, I think Grnholm is going to be the one to go in here. He needs to get in there. He's all over the back of Baumanis at this point after losing out on the start, so it would make sense for him to go in and cover off Kevin.
So Niklas Grnholm potentially to joker on this lap. Dan Rook thinks Timerzyanov on the brakes down into turn 2. Baumanis is going well here, it has to be said, but Grnholm has been the pace man. He was the top qualifier. Niklas Grnholm, is he going to go joker? He doesn't. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, I thought he would have gone, but then I guess they're thinking the only risk they've got is Cyril behind, not going to the joker and getting held up there, but Cyril's keeping with them reasonably well, so for me, I think GRX should have gone there.
When you're top 3 anyway, it doesn't really matter. When Cyril goes later on in the race, you know you'll retain that place. The problem, man, is Kevin Hansen closing the gap down. You know, if you're on the back of this train, you could stand to lose out.
Yeah, but now, of course, Kevin is catching up with Cyril Raymond, who may end up holding Kevin up. Is Timerzyanov crabbing as he goes down the straight?
Yeah, bodywork's flapping. I don't know if whether he's got a puncture or whether he's got some damage. I don't know, but Timerzyanov, the rear of the car moving around, a bit of tyre smoke from it. Timerzyanov, is he in trouble here? I think the rear left wheel's broken. Timerzyanov's rear left wheel is not tracking in a straight line. What are GRX going to do now? So, this is a disaster for Timerzyanov. Tell you what, if he can hold on like this, it'd be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for him, with the track as being so sideways for half of the lap, it kind of helps him on half of the corners, but when he gets to the tarmac and the long straight, it's really going to hinder him.
Kevin Hansen doesn't seem to be making inroads into these top 3s. 3.8 off the back of Timerzyanov. So at the minute, Grnholm could still potentially go now, and it would be tight between them, but he could go.
Yeah, I think Kevin was held up for half a lap behind Cyril Raymond, and so I saw from the commentary and Cyril's now moving slowly, so Kevin had that to contend with, but of course now he's got that clear track.
It's super close between Grnholm and Kevin Hansen at the minute. I wonder if they send Timerzyanov, and then when Timmer comes out and is on a go slow with his wheel, potentially that helps Grnholm out. So do they send Timmer to the joker? They don't. Grnholm goes now. Niklas Grnholm into the joker. This then is key to Kevin Hansen's hopes of making it through to the final. Hansen's going to come out in front of Grnholm. They left it too late, Dan.
Yeah, way too late. This should have gone, responded immediately to Kevin going in. So a bit of a mistake there from the team, but I'm sure he's going to be trying to find his way past.
Baciuska almost pushing Grnholm through. Kevin Hansen doesn't seem able to match the pace of the front runners, but he's done what he needs to do here as the World Championship leader to try to make it through to the final. He's given himself the best chance. Grnholm now is going to try and pass him on track. So Timerzyanov and Baumanis in front have got enough of a gap at the moment, haven't they, over Kevin Hansen again? If I was Baumanis now, I'd be looking to go. I cannot believe Timmer is holding on with the car in the state it's in.
Yeah, I mean, luckily the rear wheel isn't too far out of line, but you can just see the car crabbing a little bit as Baumanis goes to the joker lap now.
Baumanis has gone in there, so Janis Baumanis trying to hold on to P2. He's going to see him come out in front of Kevin Hansen. Kevin Hansen sideways. Baumanis has got him. Now we're going to have a four-way fight. Kevin has a look up the inside of Janis, but he can't make it sticky. He's got to watch out because he doesn't want to give up the spot to Grnholm behind him. Oh, Baciuska trying to go around the outside of Grnholm, gets into the side of Grnholm. Grnholm, was he in the wall? He was in the wall. Baciuska, as he got past, wait for the dust to clear. Grnholm holds on to the position.
Yeah, that was a really tight squeeze there. I wouldn't be surprised if Baciuska's front left is now damaged. He had a lot of contact with the concrete wall on the inside. But Timerzyanov still holding that gap. He's going to be out in front of this range.
Timerzyanov on the last lap of the car with badly misaligned rear suspension. He's going to have to go joker now. Kevin Hansen holds on to P3 behind Yanis Palmanis. This is going to save his World Championship lead. Into the joker goes Timmer now. The Russian one around the outside on the gas. The wheel has been misaligned for the whole race, and he still holds on to that position. Palmanis second and Kevin third. What a drive from Timmer.
Yeah, fantastic effort. Like I said, it was lucky for him that the track is a lot of sideways, so he wouldn't have felt it too badly.
Cyril Raymond, you saw parked at the side of the road. In the background, Grnholm comes over the crest, pushing hard to close the gap to Kevin Hansen, but it's not enough. They were too late with the joker lap. No worries, though. GRX take the semi-final win with a badly bent car for Timerzyanov. Anyway, Palmanis goes through in P2. P3 goes to Kevin Hansen. Grnholm just misses out. Staggering drive from Timerzyanov. Look at the crabbing on that car. The rear left towing out by a mile. You can see the front right was smoking as a result of that down the straight. So GRX take the win, but they miss out with Grnholm, and that's a shame for them, but it's a bonus for Kevin Hansen. The World Championship leader is going to make it through to the final.
Front left there.
It's the damage that Dan spotted where Baciuska clipped the wall. Here's the result. Timerzyanov goes through to the front row. Yanis Palmanis in second, Kevin Hansen in third. Then it's Grnholm, Baciuska and Cyril Raymond who will go no further this weekend. So Kevin Hansen has got the job done, the first part of it at least. Take another look at the start. Kevin Hansen, look, is in P5 at this point. Not a great start for Cyril Raymond. Cyril stays out of trouble on the outside, which was pretty wise. Kevin at this point, look, he's trying to make moves. Where does he get up? I think so he gets Baciuska here, so Baciuska's too wide, and he's in fourth. Now, I still think that if the Grnholm team had sent Grnholm earlier, they would have held Kevin off.
Yeah, 100%. They had the gap there. I don't know why they didn't take it. You know, they know that Kevin's got speed. It's not like, you know, it's
not a random.
Yeah.
You know he's got. He hasn't had the ultimate pace this weekend, but he's always going to be a threat. It's Kevin Hansen. So for me, when you knew you had a secured third place, I think they should have sent Grnholm earlier. But as we said, it's still a result for them. They've taken semi-final one with Timerzyanov. Grnholm's out. Kevin Hansen is through.
Timmer, incredible job to win the semi with the broken rear left. What happened?
Yeah, the first lap, I think the right fast gravel corner was quite too quick in. It was a little bit wet, yeah, sliding into the wall, bet on wall, touch it. After that, it was funny doggy style driving, like doggy style, sorry for that excuse, sorry. That was just like by not correct line driving, but yeah, I think we've done a good job after the Q4 finish first in semis. That's really nice.
Go and get the car fixed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, semi-final one done, semi-final two waiting at the back of the line there. You can see Timmy Hansen. He'll be hoping that one of these guys can't start the car by some miracle. He makes it to the back of the grid and can do what his brother did, but it's highly unlikely to happen. Semi-final two coming up soon. There is Andreas Backrud at the front of the queue. Grnholm was an outside bet for getting to the front, having missed those events with his appendicitis. So, you know, he will be disappointed not to have gone through. Kevin has. So now Kevin's danger man is Andreas Backrud. If Backrud wins the semi-final and then manages to go through, you know, and was to win the final, he could potentially sneak a few more points off him. And Timmy Hansen, of course, will be watching with interest because Backrud's outscoring him every time he scores points here. So Backrud could end up in P2. Cyril Raymond being dragged back, flames from the back of that car as he backed off. This is another look at some of the action from semi-1. Loads of tyre smoke off the line. Timerzyanov with a brilliant start, not so much for Grnholm. Grnholm holds the inside line here. Palmanis did well, didn't he? Fair squeeze there.
Yeah, Palmanis just finding a hole there, so it was fantastic for him to be able to get it in there, and Kevin sticking to the inside to try and gain as many places as he could, and he made his way up to fourth at this point before he split off for the joker.
Timerzyanov, we're not quite sure. He said it was the fast right-hander, didn't he? I wonder if it's this next right. Does he clip the wall here? Watch for Timmer clipping the wall here. We don't see it, but I wonder if he did, because it was bent early, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, really early on. We could see him as he came down the longest straight that the car was grabbing.
Grnholm's Joker was perfect, so he hasn't made a mistake in there. I think personally the mistake was the tactics, but there you go. You know, maybe they thought they were. I get, you know, whoever's spotting for Grnholm is wanting to get him ahead of Baumanis and ahead of Timerzyanov. For me, I'd have been looking at the championship and going, you want to block Kevin out from the final, so you cover Kevin off. But maybe Grnholm's not thinking of the championship anymore, and he's just happy just to go for the wins, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he missed those events, so I think for him now, personally, he'd be wanting to win as much as he can. But of course, with the maths there, he still could be up there for the championship. So
yeah, particularly if they'd stopped Kevin.
It would have made sense for him to push for that.
Well, they didn't on this occasion. Kevin Hansen did what he needed to do. He's got himself up into third place, and Kevin is facing a second hand on the World Championship trophy, but Bakkerud is up in semi-final number 2. If Bakkerud can go through in this semi-final, it's going to make a big difference to his championship hopes. Crowd chilling in the sunshine. It's a beautiful day here in Three Rivers. Sunny with a decent breeze, not too hot, not too cold, ideal really. Some of the beautiful views. It's a very pretty town. Semi-final 2, maybe won't be quite so pretty. Well, there's a very happy chap. Obviously enjoyed semi-final 1. I'm sure he's looking forward to semi-final 2, which is coming up shortly. Load of kids up in the stands there. The crowds are super enthusiastic for their rallycross here, and they will be looking forward to this next race as much as we are. Well, a couple of cars still to load into the back of the grid, but Andreas Bakkerud on the pole here, potentially going up against Timerzyanov as he did in Belgium.
That could be interesting.
It could be interesting. Another win for Timmer could be interesting. It was it was Canada last year where Timmer was spraying everyone in the bar with champagne because he said he wanted them all to feel like a winner, which is a story I have told before. But if he really wins, that was last year. I don't even remember where he finished. So if he does well today, yeah, it'll be a carnage one, definitely. But do you know what? I think Andreas Bakkerud will party pretty hard if he can do well. He was a little way back off the top 2, and he'll be hoping he can close it up with a great performance in the semi-finals and the final here. Semi-final 2 from Trois-Rivières. On the pole, Andreas Bakkerud. Next to him, Guerlain Chicherit. Row 2, Liam Doran and Anton Marklund. So it's 2 pairs of teammates on the front 2 rows. Bringing up the rear, Timo Scheider and Christian Sabo. Monster Energy girls leave the grid. We're going to get a thumbs up from the marshal. Bakkerud will be nervous. He needs a good result here to try and close that gap down. He could potentially overtake Timmy Hansen in the driver's standings, but he's got to get the job done. And as we've seen, Canada has brought up a load of surprises this weekend. Good start, Chicherit and Bakkerud on the front row. Doran not smashing. Chicherit might have edged this one through the left kick now down the straight. It's going to be a power race. Doran's right in behind Bakkerud. Doran must break early enough and protect Bakkerud. He's going to hold the inside line. Andreas Bakkerud's going to get the whole shot. It's been a very sensible start. Marklund has dropped back. Sabo might get P5. Scheider's up into P4, but it is Andreas Bakkerud who leads.
Yeah, fantastic start from Andreas there. He didn't fluff it off the line, so nerves didn't quite get the better of him. And Liam there trying to use a bit of team tactics to push Chicherit out by hanging on the back of Andreas's bumper into turn 1, but didn't quite make it stick. But he's still in P3. He's in a good position here.
Sabo's gone Joker on the first half. Everyone else has opted to stay out. Scheider had to look up the inside of Doran, but couldn't quite make it work. Guerlain Chicherit's really impressed me this weekend.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job. He's really shown great pace in the McGann, and to qualify in the front row for the semi-final, it's incredible.
Bakkerud flat out down the straight. How much will those issues he's had be playing on his mind? Oh, Timo Scheider, I think the car's broken. Scheider's front right wheel looks like he's hanging off the car. It was a strange angle as he hit the brakes at the end of the straight. I might be wrong, but it looked very strange. See if we can see Scheider in the background. Still seems to be going. Maybe I'm wrong.
I did see some smoke coming off the front right.
Oh, half spin from Doran. Chicherit with a bit of contact. Scheider's gone round. Scheider's car looks fine. I'm wrong then. So nothing wrong with Scheider's car, but Marklund gets through. Marklund's joking and slots up inside Scheider, who hasn't. So that was lucky for Marklund. Was that Doran's contact with Schischrit that caused it?
Yeah, I think Doran was trying to go for a move up the inside on the gravel there, and it just over-rotated, and he couldn't pull out of it. So and then made another car park there on that corner.
So back to Backer and Schischrit at the front. These guys now are so far out in front, it's ridiculous. I think they'll send Schischrit out to Joker, because then they hold on to a second row stop. I was right about Scheider. In the background, smoke pouring off that front right tyre. So something wrong with the alignment on Scheider's car. There it is, look, you can see. It just didn't look quite right at the end of the straight. It's strange, isn't it? It seems mostly okay, but it's definitely not. You can see from the run down the straight. How much right into the Joker lap now goes Schischrit. We were right. Schischrit comes out in front of Liam Doran, who hasn't jokered yet, so he's got a healthy gap.
Yeah, and Marklund in fourth place is looking good here now as well, because Liam hasn't jokered. So we could be seeing two of the GCK cars going through to the final here.
Be an amazing performance. They would be very pleased with that indeed. Start of the weekend. Schischrit was saying how he wasn't over sure on the tarmac. You know, Marklund was telling me his car didn't feel right, and they turned it around yesterday to be P3 and P4. There was a DNF for Schischrit in Q3 today, and then he came third in Q4 and get himself back up into fourth place. So a fantastic performance from Schischrit. I really hope this goes his way backward. How nervous will he be about the mechanicals he's had, Dan? He's going into the Joker lap now. This is an early Joker. Yeah, it just hasn't gone his way this year. Do you think about that when you feel like it's all going against you?
Yeah, I'm sure he would be, and the added pressure this year of being the team principal as well for the RX Cartel guys is going to be hard for him. But right now he needs to just be completely focused on his driving and listening to his spotter and just doing his own race. He needs to completely get rid of any thought of any mechanical problem happening and just be sensible.
Eyes forward, focus on the prize, get those laps in. Here he comes down past commentary now, flat out backward. Schischrit you're looking at, and Doran. Doran's in P3, but he hasn't joked, and you can see that Marklund is right behind him. Scheider, unfortunately, has dropped away now. He's 8 seconds off the back.
I just looked at Scheider's car from the commentary position. I can't see anything wrong with the front wheel. I mean, I don't know if it's maybe bodywork on tyre, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be out of line at all.
Strange, isn't it? Backward has done his Joker in through the left-hander. Doran stays out. There's really not a lot Liam can do here, is there, other than hope for a mistake by Marklund or by Schischrit.
Yeah, he's just kind of a sitting duck at this point, although I don't know whether he's going to be trying to catch up with Schischrit and then maybe try and make a pass on him on track and then go Joker, but effectively it's kind of a waste of time because he's still going to be dropping back nearly 3 seconds.
So what it's going to be 2.7 is it's going to put in 4. Yeah, basically Marklund's going to go to... Oh, problem for Schischrit. Doran's gone past him on the straight. Schischrit's going slowly, just as we were saying that. Liam Doran looking for a way through, goes under and over. What happened there?
I'm not sure. I mean, maybe Schischrit didn't quite get the run off the last corner because he seemed to have a good drive from out of turn 1, but Marklund's caught right up with them as well, so it's all happening now on the last lap, I think.
I think it's a problem for Schischrit, but I think with the time that Doran's going to lose in the Joker anyway, Schischrit should be okay, but whether they can turn the problem... I mean, he might have just missed a gear or something small, Dan.
Yeah, and it all makes all the difference with the length of this straight. It would have meant that Doran would have been able to get up alongside him.
Andreas Backerud is 3.2 seconds out front and just takes it completely easy on that last braking zone. Cruises round the right-hander on the gas now. And as the man who qualified in second place, it will be him who sits on pole in the final. Andreas Backerud closing down the championship lead. Schischrit comes across the line second, Marklund third, so 2 GCK cars go through. Doran misses out, along with Sabo and Scheider. But Andreas Backerud got the job done there, and I think that's going to haul him enough points to put him up in front of Timmy Hansen as the standings are at this point in time. Backerud wins semi-final number 2 from Schischrit and Marklund. Doran, Sabo and Scheider are out. It was a pretty clean start in this one, I thought, Dan. Everyone was fairly sensible.
Yeah, and I mean, they had to be really, because if we had too much carnage, you could see them all being wiped out and then not going through to the final. But I think it was good tactics what the RX Cartel boys tried to push Schischrit out wide there, but it didn't quite work out for them. And here's the move with Doran. That's what cost him his final.
Yeah, and I don't think actually Liam did that on purpose. I would say that Schischrit possibly checked up more than Doran thought in the middle of the corner there. The rotation rates of the two cars were just different, weren't they?
Yeah.
It wasn't even really a pass attempt, you know. He just sent the car in, and once you sent it, you're on that trajectory.
Yeah, you're kind of the passenger at that point.
Backerud takes semi-final number 2, and maybe P2 in the driver's standings. Interesting stuff. So, as I had it, Kevin was 10 points in front of Timmy and Bakkerud was 15 back, with the standings as they were. And Bakkerud should just have taken 6 points there in that one. So I think that puts Bakkerud in front of Timmy. Kevin, of course, was third in his semi, so he would have lost a couple of points to Bakkerud there as well. So this is really interesting. We've got the final still to come. Beers on the go there, Dan. I'm not going to lie, I'm starting to feel the need. It's been a long weekend. I haven't made it out of this commentary box all day long. There you go. Andreas Bakkerud has moved up into P2 in the standings. He takes second place from Timmy Hansen. Kevin Hansen has a 13-point lead over Andreas Bakkerud. Let me see what it was before. Quick live terrible maths. Bakkerud was on 109, so he was, what was he, 190? I think it was 21 points back coming into this weekend, was it? Well, either way, it's been turned on its head. Now, we've had another championship here this weekend, and that's had some interesting action as well. Let's have a look at the semi-finals from America's Rallycross here this weekend. The factory Subaru team, Subaru Motorsport USA, has won all 3 events so far, and you can see it, this was Sandell running down to turn 1 with Chris Atkinson and Atco behind him, Cabot Bigham trying to go around the outside. Bigham got pushed wide at this point, but Sandell just dropped it on the brakes, nudged them all a tiny bit. And it was a great move by Cabot Bigham, who's struggled so far this season to get through to the front of the pack.
Yeah, that was a really great move, and shame for Patrick there, just, you know, milliseconds too late on the brakes, and the tail wags is such a long car that as soon as it stepped out, it just clipped that concrete wall and sent him wide. But Cabot making the most of that mistake there and really diving up as soon as he could.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. He then joked to protect the position from Sandell, because Sandell's been the foreman this weekend, Dan, and I know why you haven't been commentating America's Rallycross. You've been watching it with a very keen interest from up here in the spotters tower. You were working with Subaru Motorsport USA last year, sometimes spotting for them, so I know you've got a few pals in the team. Yeah,
and it's great to see their performance be really, really great this year. I mean, they've struggled for years in Rallycross with the Subaru, but the performance we've seen, it's completely flipped on its head.
Yeah, brilliant. Cabot Bigham took semi-final number 1. This was semi-final 2. So Scott Speed getting the jump off the line. Tanner Faust slotting into second place and Arpin behind. Faust had a little look around the outside, but that didn't work out. And Arpin mugged him on the run to turn 2. So Faust ends up down in P3. And then really, from then on, it was kind of joke lap tactics. Not a lot really mattered until right at the very end of the semi-final. Scott Speed, look, all good here. Here comes Faust and Arpin out of the Joker laps. But wait for this with Speed. I'm sure some of you have watched it already live today. I hope you have anyway. Faust having a little look up the inside of Arpin. But if you check out what happens on the last straight, Speed, look, now suddenly seems to be in trouble. The other guys are up behind him. Comes around the last right-hander onto the straight, and he got blown away. And we believe it was a transmission issue. So Scott to the back of the grid. Another lovely view of Trois Rivières, the beautiful blue skies here as we come to the end of a weekend of racing, which has been fantastic in both World Rallycross and America's Rallycross. That is the Rue de Stade and the Rue de la Hippodrome. Some of the fans up there soaking up the sun properly. Great stuff. So America's Rallycross taking place alongside the World Rallycross Championship here in Trois Rivières. America's Rallycross is in its second season. This is round 4 for the supercars. Scott Speed led the championship by 12 points when we arrived here in Canada, but he's had a bit of a shocker in qualifying and in the semi-finals. There's a new regulation which means that 7 cars go through to the final, which is great to see. We're going to see some incredible action down at turn 1. Steve Arpin, the top qualifier, has chosen to go in the centre of the grid, and he's got Bigham and Faust next to him on the front row. Let's take a look then at the lineup for round 4 of America's Rallycross 2019. It's Cabot Bigham, Steve Arpin and Tanner Faust on the front row. On row 2, it's Chris Atkinson and Patrick Sandell. And on row 3, it's Scott Speed and Travis Pecoy. Let's get this show on the road. 7 cars into turn 1. Has never been done at Trois Rivières in Rallycross before. Scott Speed in the back row. Bigham's lost out. Oh, contact between Atkinson and Sandell. The run to the first corner. Faust up the inside. Arpin's run wide. Tanner Faust going to get the whole shot. Bingham gets tagged. Speed looking for a way through. On three Subarus. Surely they can't get through. They do. Scott Speed's gone to the back of the grid. Up into P4. I think it's Sandell who's in P5. Is he? Yes, sorry. Sandell's in P4. Speed's up into P3. Sandell can't see in the dirt. Into the Joker goes Peacoy. So Peacoy's got Joker. Arpin's gone on the standard lap, but it's a Beetle 1-2 as we head into lap 1.
And it's great to see a Beetle 1-2. The Subarus have been dominating so far, but look at this.
Speed tagged the wall there. Speed tagged the wall. Sorry, James. Yes,
no,
7 cars.
7 cars. Amazing to watch. I'm not seeing where Peacoy is. I see Arpin in the back there.
Peacoy went Joker. So Peacoy went Joker on lap 1. Faust and Bingham now looking to gap the cars behind. There's been a bit of squabbling going on behind them. Speed hasn't had the same pace as Sandell, but he's got it right now. The 3 Subarus stream past us. Travis Peacoy's choking after a bad start, but we're hoping to make up some time on the others.
Yeah, I think we're going to watch Tanner and Cabot here really try and drive some clean laps. They're not going to do anything to get in each other's way. They're not going to have a strategy that puts them in each other's way. So there he goes into the Joker.
Sandell's gone Joker. Sandell's been the pace man this weekend. Atko has a pass by Arpin on Atko on the standard lap. So Atko's gone back a place, going to look and try and get up the inside of Arpin into the right-hander. He's got his nose alongside him, and he can't quite find a way through. Sandell, the pace man, is just in front of Peacoy, and that means Peacoy's done a couple of good laps in the background.
Peacoy's come right up to Sandell at the back there. He was a little bit behind, but remember, they've both already taken their Joker. Wow! Oh, no!
The wall! Sandell's in the wall! So Sandell's buried in Champions Wall, and I think that was with contact with, was it with Peacoy?
It looked like it was with Peacoy. It just put him nose first into the wall there.
Oh, the front end of the Subaru is quite heavily damaged, so Sandell is going to pull off to the side of the road. Is he going to carry on? Sandell, though, is out of it. The top qualifier man is not going to take this one. Bingham goes Joker. So Cabot, Bingham goes Joker, and this may be because the carnage behind him. He might hold on to his position here. He gets out in front of Arpin.
I think that was a great decision by Cabot. It was a great decision, great strategy there. Gives him some open air to drive. But let's talk about Scott Speed, who when he came past, couldn't even finish the semifinal, barely crossed the line. And now it looks like he has no issues.
Yeah, Speed's going well. The Subaru Motorsport USA team done a fantastic job of changing whatever was wrong on that car. Faust leads though by 2.5 seconds over Scott Speed. Bingham behind Speed as Joker, he's only 1.5 seconds off him. So Scott Speed, I really thought the championship leader might be in trouble here, and this is what you do when you're not having a great weekend. You do what Scott Speed has done, and you haul the points back as best you can.
You make do with what you're given, and that's what he's learned throughout his illustrious career as a race car driver, is you do what you can.
Oh, Sandell moves over, so Sandell's continuing to circulate, but moves out of the way. Now, interestingly, if Bingham, which at the minute he can get in front of Speed, he nicks another point off him, and that will close Tanner Faust down in championship standings.
It will, so let's see if he can do it. I know he's driving his heart out right now. He's going to get as close as he can to Speed because he knows that Speed still needs the Joker. He's close enough now to get him when Speed jokers, so he's either trying to maintain this gap or make it even smaller.
Faust leads by 2.4, but Speed's up to 1.8, so Scott Speed is only 1.8 behind, and Cabot Bingham's going with him, so Tanner Faust is losing a bit of time. He's only got a lap and a half to go. Bingham is 2.9 off, and tell you what, Bingham could be on for the winner. If he gets within 2.7 of Faust, Bingham could take this.
He could. It's going to be a very, very close one coming out of here.
Faust goes Joker, and this may well be to beat his teammate Cabot Bingham. He's got to get out in front of Cabot if he wants to take those points off Scott. That was crucial from the Andretti Rallycross team. Bingham gets into the back of Faust, but that had to be done. Has Tanner got a problem? He seems to be going slowly.
Cabot's right on him there.
He doesn't have the pace he had earlier on, so Scott Speed's got one lap in. Could he gap them by enough? Is there a problem for Faust? No, it doesn't sound like it.
Cabot's just driving incredibly well, I think.
But it was more the way the gap was coming down to Faust. He had clear air out front.
It was a great Joker decision by Tanner there. Very good Joker decision because it took him out of there.
Last lap Joker for Scott Speed. Bingham is within the 2.7 seconds needed, so if Bingham can get through as well, that's going to help Faust close down the championship lead to Scott Speed. Speed will know that, so will Subaru Motorsport USA. Into the Joker lap goes Scott Speed. He's getting to Faust, he's going to get past his Bingham again as well, he does. So Cabot Bingham's got to hold on now, and that's going to hurt Speed in the championship points, and we're going to be on for a thriller in the last 2 rounds of ARX 2019. Faust and his teammate Bingham are going to come out from that dust cloud into the final couple of corners. No mistakes here. It's been 3 wins for Subaru so far this year, for one for each driver, but Andretti Rallycross take revenge with a 1-2 in Canada. Tanner Faust takes the win from Cabot Bigham. Scott Speed salvages great points in P3 for Subaru in his title chase. Picoy gets 4th. Atco is in 5th place. That was a great race between these guys.
That Joker strategy by Tanner was absolutely perfect, and that if he'd stayed out another lap, I think Cabot might have closed that gap and taken the win.
And that would have been 3 points. It's 8 for the win and 5 for P2. He's got to chase it down. Faust said himself before this weekend, I have to beat Scott at every phase of this event, and I'm pretty sure that's what he's done. We'll see the points in a minute, but what a drive by Tanner Faust. Great tactics by Andretti Rallycross to stick him back out in front of his teammate Bigham. Amazing stuff. Sandell crosses the line now with a very broken Subaru. He's just come past the commentary position. The hood of the car is completely smashed up.
Rally on, as always.
It's a shame for Sandell. He was the TQ man, but he doesn't get it done in the final. Confirmation then of the result of round 4 of America's Rallycross 2019. Tanner Faust takes the win by just 0.7 of a second from Cabot Bigham. What an improvement in performance by Bigham. Scott Speed holds on to 3rd place. He came from the back of the grid. Brilliant job by the championship leader to try to hold on to as much of that lead as he can. Then it's Picoy, Atco, Arpin and Sandell.
Arpin had a great start here, and I thought he would take more. Watch him move over here to get the inside line on turn 1. Unfortunately, he goes a little wide when he gets a tiny bit of a bump from the outside. And then you see Tanner go right on the inside, back on the power. And you see Cabot get a little bump from behind, back on the brakes, stays in 2nd place. All the Subarus slot in, and you've got the 2 Fords at the back.
But how did they get those 3 Subarus through that gap together? I was convinced they were going to have some kind of a problem there. But
the 3 biggest cars on the track as well.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I thought Arpin outbraked himself at turn 1, but I mean, here we go. This was Picoy on Sandell. I think that'll be under investigation personally, but you know, it's not going to matter. It doesn't affect our top 3. So Bigham doing a really good job, jokering when he did to cover off behind. This is Arpin in the wall. Oh, does someone then sideswipe him?
I think it was his teammate.
Couldn't see in the dust. Yeah, could not see in the dust.
And this was the Joker that won Tanner the race.
Had to be done. Tanner Faust jokering when he did to take the win from his teammate Cabot Bigham. He led, but Bigham was closing him down, and he needs all the points he could get in the chase for the championship. Scott Speed won it last year with Volkswagen. He swapped to Subaru. It's been a Subaru clean sweep of the season so far, but not today. It's a 1-2 for Andretti Rallycross and Volkswagen R. Here are the championship standings then after round 4, and the lead is down to 5 points. Scott Speed on around 100, Tanner Faust on 95, Patrick Sandell 86, Atco's just 1 point behind Lock on 85, Arpin in the mix with those guys as well, Picoy and Cabot Bigham at the bottom of the table, but with a brilliant performance today. We've got 2 rounds to go. It's going to be an epic end to the season. Well, that was America's Rallycross, and that pretty much turned their championship on its head. We've got 1 race left to go here in Canada for the World Rallycross Championship. Timerzyanov is about to pull up to the grid. You can see Backrud is there already. Going to get those cars lined up. Now, of course, the man who's lost the most today is Timmy Hansen. Didn't even make it through to the semi-finals. Neil Cole has managed to get hold of Timmy. Let's go and hear from him.
Timmy, you must be disappointed. It's been a good run of always making the final, but to not make the semis, that's a real shame.
Yeah, it's hard to stand on the side here, but in Q4, I had a good run, everything, but I was at the wrong place in the wrong time, and that's racing. I just have to accept it. It feels a lot like Abu Dhabi right now, where, you know, I'm out of the semi from my perspective, no reason, you know, and I have to watch the others do well. I watch Backrud pass me in the championship now, but yeah, you know, that's it. I'm helping Kevin now, so he's in a perfect state of mind. He's really focused. He's calm. He did a brilliant run in his semi to come from 5th to 3rd. So yeah, I'm kind of nervous for him right now. I want him to do well.
Yeah, we'll watch him. Thank you very much, Timmy.
Thank you.
On the championship standings, it was a 22-point gap between Kevin Hansen and Andreas Backrud. As we go into the semis, it's down to 13, with Backrud on pole and Kevin Hansen at the back of the grid. So all to play for here. Timmy Hansen, of course, can't score anymore. He's 14 points behind Kevin at this point. So, yeah, going to be interesting. Backrud hasn't won, I think, since Argentina 2016. I'm right. And he's come so close, hasn't he? He had that great fight with Timmer in Belgium. It's Timmer who he's got to have a great fight with again here. Is Timmer going to bring the fierce competitor? Schischrit, we're hearing they've got problems with the transmission. So we heard from the team in the break that they were trying to get the transmission fixed, but potentially Schischrit isn't going to get far into this one, and that's going to help Kevin Hansen because that's one car in front of him. Kevin's on the outside of the grid, so he's got a little bit of space there. This is about damage limitation for Kevin Hansen. It's about getting a win for Andreas Backrud, finally. Here we go. Here is the lineup for the final of round 7 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship. Andreas Backrud on the pole, Timerzyanov next to him, Gulan Schischrit and Yanis Baumanis. And on the back row, Anton Marklund and Kevin Hansen. Right, Schischrit then, is he going to go backwards off the grid? Where's Kevin Hansen going to get to? Can Backrud finally take that win? Well, Schischrit gets away from the line, he gets a great start, but Backrud's been beaten by Timerzyanov on the run down towards the first corner. Baumanis trying to come around the outside of those two. Backrud holding the inside line, a huge bang from the anti-lag as they come past us. And the common tradition, Kevin Hansen's gone up the inside of Marklund. Kevin Hansen potentially up into third, not quite. Fourth place slots in behind Timerzyanov. Baumanis has gone up into P2. So Schischrit's going well, but it's Backrud who's out front. Who's going to go joker? Timerzyanov goes straight away, and Marklund's gone with him. Backrud slides a little bit wide.
Yeah, a little bit wide there for Backrud. They've watered the track in between the semi-final and the final, so going to be a little bit slippier for them compared to when they were last out there. But Baumanis off the start was a brilliant move. He made the most of Backrud pushing Timerzyanov wide, stuck himself in that hole.
Kevin Hansen in third place, but these guys haven't joked, remember. Kevin looking to try and find a way past Yanis Baumanis. How aggressive is he going to be in this chase for some championship points? And his rival, Andreas Backrud, still going to have a good lead. He's going to have a bigger lead, potentially leaving here than he had coming here. But this time it's Backrud chasing him in the points, not his brother Timmy. So I wonder if Kevin might go joker on this lap now. What's the gap back? It's dangerous. He should come out in front of Schischrit. Schischrit's gone backwards. Schischrit's got a problem. Look at the timing screens. And Kevin hasn't gone. I think he could have done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit risky for him to go in. He's just completely dropped back then. Now he got too sideways on the way out of that series of corners, and he's dropped off the back of Baumanis. He was all over him. So Kevin is showing the most pace I think he's shown all weekend here.
Andreas Backrud leads with 4 laps to go, but he's got to make a joker on one of those, of course. And he's been in this position before. It hasn't worked out, so Backrud will be praying that everything holds together. He screams past us and the spotters tower. 2 races of 3 cars here. Schischrit's out of it. Marklund's got past Timerzyanov.
So Timerzyanov going backwards there. We're not sure what happened. We haven't seen that move on screen, but yeah, so Timerzyanov, they're not going so well. Kevin Hansen goes to the joker lap now, so this is crucial.
Kevin goes joker. Where's he going to come out? He's a little bit deep on the exit. Marklund might beat him here. Kevin Hansen up the inside of Anton Marklund. Oh, he's into the side of him. Anton won't like that. Anton's spun round. I think Kevin could get a penalty for that, but we'll see. Anton's going to spin it round on the gas and on the handbrake, trying to get it facing back the other way. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think that was a bit too aggressive there by Kevin. The general rule is you have to give way to the main track, and Marklund now is stuck there in the track, so that's going to be hampering the rest of the guys now as well. The spotters are going to be on the radio telling them there's a car on track.
This has played into Andreas Backrud's hands massively. Baumanis is still there in P2. Baumanis got third in Norway, but only after all the shenanigans at the front end. So Yanis Baumanis goes into the joker lap now. Baumanis is jokering to try and hold on to a P2, which will be his best ever result in the World Rallycross Championship, and he's got out in front of Kevin Hansen. I'm really pleased. Oh, Kevin's gone round! Kevin's gone round!
Two-wheel drive. He's maybe broken a front drive shaft.
Well, that might have been with the contact with Marklund, so Kevin Hansen's got a problem. He's dropping back now. Sheisha, it's only 8.5 off the back, so Kevin's dropped back into 5th place, and this is all helping Andreas Backer, and he's got 2 laps to go. He's got a joker. He could take 8 points here, and if he does, and Kevin drops to the back and only gets 1, it would knock that lead down by a further 7 points. It would be 6 as we leave here, when it was 22 when we came here. But it's not done yet, Dan.
No, I think they need to get him in now. He's got the gap. It makes perfect sense for him to get him in and out. And is he gone in? Yes, he's gone in.
He has. Andreas Backer goes into the joker lap. He keeps it super smooth. There is nobody there to challenge him. Yannis Balmanis is just a couple of car lengths back. Timerzyanov up into 3rd place. So much change around the back. Where's Marklund compared to Kevin Hansen? I'm trying to figure out if he can get back past him or if he's disappeared. Marklund's only showing 2 laps. Marklund's gone. Kevin's only going to get 5th as a worse result. So he'll take 2 points from that. Backwards got another lap to go. Balmanis is still there. He can't relax, Dan. He cannot relax. Full focus.
Yeah, full focus. And, you know, Balmanis is really hanging on to him here. So any mistake by Backer, then Balmanis will be there to pounce.
Timerzyanov in 3rd. The podium guys are so far clear that they really don't need to worry. But this man will be worried. I just know he will. He'll be so nervous. Here's his team up in the spotters town now. They're backing away. They're all so nervous. Backward through the inside line. Just got to come through the dirt section. He started the year with that massive crash with Timmy Hansen. Both those guys dropping back. Hansen's fought his way back up, but somehow it hasn't managed to go Andreas Backer's way. He had a big fight with Timerzyanov. He's had little technical issues. He had one at Silverstone where it didn't work out. But frankly, he is completely and utterly unchallenged in this final in Canada. And for the first time since Argentina 16, Andreas Backer takes the win in Canada. And he closes down the championship points to Kevin Hansen in the process. The last 3 rounds of this championship are going to be epic. They're going mad in the spotters tower. They're on their knees. There you can see them. Yes! Yes! Result for Andreas Backer. He has lit a fire under the championship fight with just 3 rounds to go. The gap is down to something like 6 or 7 points. He's up into P2, and it is all to play for. From the disappointment he's had this year, finally to the victory here in Canada. It's huge, Dan. It's huge. It's not just the win. That's the thing. Like, the win would be big, but to take the points as well is massive.
Yeah, I bet he came here not knowing that he'd be getting that close to the championship fight come the end of the weekend. And well, I'm sure I can't wait to see the RX Cartel's Instagram page, to be honest.
They're gonna go mad, aren't they? Oh wow, well done, Backerud.
Yeah, and a huge amount of emotion up here in the spotters tower. We can see how much it means to you, but we just heard they were talking to Andreas on the radio. I guess he's quite happy too.
He's really happy, and it was a really scary one, because at the tire clean, he reported back on the radar that there was some very bad noise at the back of the car, so we didn't really know if he could take the start or not, so I said, just try it and see what happens, and it worked, so.
Congratulations.
Really
Andreas Backer takes his first win in nearly 3 years, and with it he closes down the championship gap to Kevin Hansen, who only finishes P5 here. Timmy Hansen didn't make the semis. It's a crucial result. That is a best ever result for Yannis Balmanis. He had a podium in Norway, but it was given to him by the stewards. He will take this one with a big smile on his face. Well done, Yannis. And Timerzyanov gets P3. Sheisha at 4th, Hansen 5th, and Tom Marklund in 6th. So this was off the start, huge tyre smoke from Balmanis. Down towards turn 1, backward, that was just across the inside, managed to avoid anything. I thought it was close at the wall here. He almost backed them up.
Yeah, he did, and he created a hole there for Balmanis to slot up the inside of Timerzyanov as well, and Balmanis there took every opportunity he could to make up the ground, and it paid off for him.
Kevin Hansen catching up to the back of those guys. I still wonder if Kevin, you know, will be given a penalty for this, because for me it's whether or not he would have made the turn if he didn't lean on backward. We're not seeing anything under investigation on the timing screen. We will let you know if we do, obviously. So this was Balmanis leaving a bit of pressure on backward. Joker in there, and Yannis would know at that point he's got a P2 down. And the spin for Kevin Hansen. Marklund gets out of the car. He's trying to get out of the way as fast as he can, leaving the car in the road, heavily broken. Backward, there was no pressure. There was massive pressure. There was massive and none, because he had such a gap, but the huge pressure to finally get a result. That's what it means to him and his team. That's the EKS boys who run the car go mad with the Monster Energy RX Cartel. The championship fight is on. Wow. So both championships here then this weekend, America's Rallycross and the FIA World Rallycross Championship, you know, being turned on their heads with the results. There are just 3 rounds left in the World Rallycross Championship, and the gap at the front is tiny. Dan, your thoughts?
Oh, crazy, isn't it? I mean, I wasn't expecting this as we came here this weekend for the race, but it is fantastic to see. I mean, got 3 rounds left, and the gap is tiny between these guys, so we're going to have a massive fight on our hands.
Kenneth Hansen said to me earlier this year that if it was a fight between Timmy and Kevin, that was fine, because they were brothers and, you know, they'd just sort it out. Obviously, I think that would have been difficult and maybe different coming to the end of the very end of the season. Backer running down the straight next to his car. Go on, you don't need any more damage, Andreas. Come on, be sensible. He can't be sensible. He's so fired up. But now backwards in the mix, it changes everything. You know, you can't play tactics with Timmy and Kevin when there's a third driver in the mix, and that was what Kenneth said. He said, look, it's much more complicated for us if backwards in the mix.
Yeah, so you can't control the championship from within your own team, so now you have to think about what the other team is going to be doing and then try and outsmart them in terms of that. Of course, I mean, the obvious thing is that both teams are going to be going as fast as they can, obviously, but it's going to be, I think we're going to see some quite wise tactics, Joker lap wise and etc. as we start to approach the end of the year. Teams really working hard on it.
I suppose with 2 drivers, the Hansens in the championship fight, the Hansens are able to control things maybe slightly differently, but I mean, maybe not, because, you know, both those drivers are in the championship fight. In some ways, the RX Cartel has a better weapon in Liam, who's not in the championship fight. And I'm not suggesting any foul play, but, you know, in terms of Joker tactics, you could Joker and, you know, be in the way. You could give up your own results. Basically, Timmy and Kevin are not likely to give up their own results because they're both on for the title. But Liam could give up his own results in favour of Andreas.
Yeah, so we could see them, you know, maybe holding, you know, Kevin and Timmy up in the future race. Not intentionally, obviously.
No, but that's what I mean. You go, look, Liam's lost this one, just Joker him and it'll beat Kevin, that kind of thing, you know. Or also, for instance, what we saw when Persia used to run 3 cars, where I think Loeb was in 13th once, wasn't he? And Kevin dropped out. Well, in theory, if Andreas was in P13, you just pull Liam.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? There's a title fight on now. There's team tactics to play, but one team's got the 2 drivers in it, and the other team only the one with a chance, and you can see what it means. Look at Backrud with Timerzyanov. Well, I'm excited because I love this sport and I want to see a great fight. I feel very sorry for Timmy Hansen because he didn't make it through, and as he said, he really kind of was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, we interviewed a load of these guys before the weekend, and they were all like, you know, that's Rallycross, these things happen. Look at Backrud. So excited.
He's had to work so hard here, hasn't he?
Yeah,
just to even be on the grid this year.
He has. I think you're going to see a full focus, almost. I think it's going to be a turnaround now because he knows it's on now, and I think you'll see full focus. I think you'll see, you know, if they haven't spent every penny on it already, there'll be no stone left unturned in making sure that car is reliable from now on. Because there was a point at which it's like, well, look, he's not going to do this, and everything. But you know, they don't have much time, they don't have much budget. It's got to get turned around. The EKS guys, I know, will do their best for it with what the RX Cartel's budget is. Look at that.
Just seen on the timing screen, the contact between Hansen and Marklund is under investigation.
Yeah, Kevin Hansen finishing P5 potentially if he's given a penalty. Oh, they could DQ him. I think. Well, the only way he can finish in front of, well, I don't know. It's up to the stewards. They could switch the places, which would give Kevin 1 point instead of 2 and close it down even further. But it doesn't matter because, you know, this is now the difference of a few places in qualifying and a few places in a semi or a final. And let's not forget Timmy Hansen, who is by no means out of this. Here are the championship standings after round 7. Kevin Hansen leads by 7 points from Andreas Backerud. Timmy Hansen, look, is just 16 points off the lead as well. Niklas Grnholm, unfortunately, unable to capitalise this weekend. Baumanis is 5th, Timerzyanov 6th, Doran 7th, and Tom Marklund moves up to 8th. But it's all about that top 3. One of the Monster Energy RX Cartel is in between the two, the Peugeot Hansen MJP cars. And yeah, this is going to be a fantastic end to the season. All to play for, 3 rounds to go. There's the podium. Waiting for the drivers to get up onto there. I'm sure we're going to have a chat with them before then. Looking forward to hearing what Backerud's got to say about that. I mean, I don't think even he will have thought this could have happened, Dan. I know that's what they want, but like, you don't come here and think Timmy won't make it. I mean, you know, it's just an incredible result. Championship turned up on its head.
Andreas, the first win of the season, the first win for a long time. A lot of hard work has gone into this. Tell us what it means to you right now.
Well, if you interview me just after I crossed the finish line, then you would get a lot of emotions. You know, we have worked hard as a team. EKS haven't won since, I think, beginning of 2017. I haven't won since the end of 2016. It's been some challenging months before the season started, and I feel we've been so close in Silverstone, in Belgium, in Sweden, and no, everything worked, and it was not without drama. In the start, I burned the clutch. After that, my subframe in the rear came loose, and it was hitting the dirt, so my car was everywhere, but we managed to stick it together. Huge thanks to the RX Cartel for doing a great job, and all the guys involved, the Backerud Blues back home in Bergen. I know you guys are at Felix, so a big thank you. Hope you guys gonna get a few ones tonight. I'm certainly gonna have, so I'm gonna enjoy, I'm gonna have fun. It's amazing to be here talking to you, Neil.
You deserve it. Enjoy the podium.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Yeah!
You can hear how pleased Backerud is. There are the team standings after round 7. Team Hansen MJP at the top with 274. But look at that, GRX Tanako on 255 are threatening the team standings as well. Monster Energy RX Cartel on 228, a little way further back, but after this weekend you can see anything can happen. Then it's GC competition. Team Stard move up ahead of GCK Academy. You can see the drivers off to the right. Timerzyanov, I think, is he going to come up first, or are we going to send Backerud up first? Let's see. It's Timmer up first in 3rd place. Baumanis, his best ever finish in the World Rallycross Championship. Well done, Yanis Baumanis. P2, you earned this one, mate. Well done. And Andreas Backerud, his first win since Argentina 2016. And with it, a shot at the world title. So Backerud fist pumping up on the top step of the podium. Over the moon with the result. Backerud, 2 fingers in the air for a P2. I say it's just a great result. Timerzyanov, not so pleased with 3rd, but it's still a good result for Timmer. I do think one of the Hyundais could have taken it here, but it didn't go their way in the end. Oh, there we go. Backerud's been handed something. Is this from, I'm not quite sure what it is. There we go. Trophy for Andreas Backerud. And I'm pretty sure they were playing the anthem in the background there because they all took their hats off. Andreas Backerud knows that the Backerud Blues, the baby blues as they used to be called. Look at that, yes, Yanis Baumanis, look at that, he's over the moon. It's as good as a win for Yanis. And Timerzyanov. Let me tell you right now, as podiums go, they don't party much harder than these 3 when the results go their way. So tonight could be fun. Champagne to the top three. Backrud not the fastest off the mark there, but it doesn't matter because he's got the job done the rest of the weekend. Thank you very much to Dan Rook and to Neil Cole. Dan, brilliant result.
Yeah, fantastic, and great to see the championship fight now fully mixed up.
Bottle down the back of the race suit. Some of that's going to get drunk, and there's going to be plenty more bought later on. I know that for a fact. Well, an amazing weekend here at Trois-Rivières. I hope you guys have managed to watch it all at home. Results that have unfolded have been incredible. Timmy Hansen didn't make it through to the semi-finals. Kevin Hansen did make it through to the final. This move, though, is under investigation. Will he end up with 2 points or one? Either way, the championship lead is down to something very small indeed. Andreas Backrud has taken his first win since Argentina 2016, and say with it a chance at the World Rallycross Championship. We have got 3 rounds to go. Next one is at Loiac in 4 weeks' time. You better be joining us there because this title fight is on. But now Backrud's in the mix, it changes everything.